AMCO, the transmission experts with 10 AMCO locations in the OKC and Tulsa metros. AAMCO.com. Time to look both ways, speed up, and merge. This is The Drive with Matt Ravis. And now joined by middle of the day show host Mark Rodgers.
Yep, I'm flying through the air. This is not good.
The Drive is on 98.1 FM, WWLS, The Sports Animal, thesportsanimal.com, and the Sports Animal app. This is what's trending now on the Sports App.
You guys are up. 43 days away from college football here in the state of Oklahoma. That's Oklahoma State's kickoff. 45 days away from the Sooners kicking off. 50 days away from the National Football League. We've got Media Day, Mark, at SEC Media Days. Today's Alabama, Mississippi State, Florida, and Oklahoma. And a little bit later on today, in about an hour from now, David Holt's going to address the city and give out some renderings of the new arena. And Mark, coming up a little bit later on today, we are expecting some guests. So that'll come along after noon, right? Some of the Sooners representatives.
Yep, that will be in the noon hour. We're going to talk with R. Mason Thomas, John Napier, and Jim Naggie. You mentioned Florida as being here. I feel like that there's been hardly any interaction between OU and Florida. Like there's just
since joining the SEC, you're right. Now OU went down and. Is that what you're talking about, Matt? Like, or Mark in the competition?
Yeah, the softball team played at Florida. Basketball played at Florida.
Neither one of those went well.
Florida. Football has not played Florida.
Right.
So I don't think that, outside of maybe like gymnastics or something less than a major sport, has Florida even come to Norman?
They have with softball. Florida, I believe, took 2 out of 3 from OU this year. Last series of the year, if I remember right. And then men's basketball, the Gators hammered OU. Of course, they hammered everybody. That's what happens when you're the national champs. You hammer people. You're right. That is interesting. How many different – I'll make this prediction. Whenever the Gators and Sooners do play in football, how many different outlets will do the Bob Stoops story? The Stoops came to Florida and helped Spurrier get over the hump, and then he left to go to OU. I'll bet you there's like a million different publications that'll re-rack that storyline.
That'll be a bunch. I mean, if both teams improve, it might actually be a pretty big game.
But by the way, Matt, we're going to have to amend Mark's nickname. It's not just Media Day Mark. It's about to be Magic City Mark.
I heard you're eating out tonight. Is that true?
Yes, I will be going to Magic City to have the wings. I mean,
if you're going to eat out somewhere, you might as well eat out at Magic City. I mean,
I have not. I've not had the best of luck with food on this trip. I don't know if you heard my story last night about going to Gus's famous fried chicken, but it was
what happened?
Spectacular.
Oh, that's too bad.
Chicken it came out cold. It had to wait for a long time. I parked in a place that said $7. They tried to charge me $30.
What?
Now they're threatening me with putting a boot on my car. My car can be immobilized. I got to get it back to. I got to get it back to the airport this evening before it is immobilized.
Before they put a boot on your car. Oh man, that's
a boot on my car. I will be enraged with the fire of 1,000 suns. I'm telling you.
That will not be good. There's a lot of people who just will rent cars and just leave them wherever, and you could just become one of those people because the rental car company is not just going to leave their car. They'll figure out a way to get it back. That might cost you a little extra.
I might not have eaten for 3 days, but there is no way I'm parking across the street someplace for $30 for 49 minutes. I mean, that is absurd.
That is a grift of all grifts. How did that even I heard you say that earlier, $7 for an hour. So how'd you get stuck with 30?
I don't know. I mean, you basically have to use the QR code to pay. And so it's very interesting. I feel
seems like a scam.
Larry David in the final season of Seinfeld. I've got the state of Georgia. I may have business with them going forward because I'm going to $30 charge.
Let me ask you this very important question about Magic City. Will you be dining in or will you be taking it to go?
What happens at Magic City stays at Magic City.
Okay,
well, there's our answer.
There's the answer I needed. Yeah, that's what I needed.
I'm in a little bit of a hurry, and so I probably will just order and take it to go.
I bet they do a lot of to-go business.
Yeah,
I'm sure they do.
Yeah,
you got to go with the lemon pepper, obviously.
You got to get at least 6 lemon pepper. I mean, in honor of Lou Williams.
Curtis talked me into tweeting at Perk, and I don't think Perk has responded.
Saw that.
Kind of disappointing.
There's time yet. Perk's
Did you hit up Blue Will?
Yeah. Perk and I used to be tight, man. I don't know. It's not as tight.
He's too big now. I learned what jacket size Perk wears the other day. So let's talk with somebody who has outfitted him before, and it's almost twice as big as my own jacket size.
Yeah.
It's
50,
60 plus. It's mid-60s. Mid-60s.
Holy cow, that's large.
It's unbelievable.
It was a low end guess.
And he hit up the guy and was like, "Hey, I need a suit tomorrow for the Western Conference Finals." It's like, where do you find a jacket that big? It's got to be custom made for a man that large.
I think it is. I think he's.
It's got to be.
That's not just the big and tall store.
All right, couple matters of business here related to OU football. I asked this question earlier, Mark. We got a lot of response on the text line. I think there is a most popular answer. I don't think that there is not necessarily a correct answer, though. For Oklahoma, we know that the quarterback is the most important position, obviously. What position group outside of quarterback is going to define this season for Oklahoma football? Or, even one or two position groups. What would you say is going to define the season for Oklahoma?
It's offensive line. And then followed by, wide receiver. I'm sorry. Maybe I don't have a proper amount of respect for wide receivers, but I just kind of consider them as a group that could be really good if you have a good quarterback and all that. I walked downstairs here just a few minutes ago, and I was listening to Brendan Thompson talk, and you kind of forget, he was one of OU's best receivers last year, if not the best receiver. Had a big catch in the Auburn game that helped win that one, and he's gone. And so, I feel like he's going to have a really good year in Jeff Lebby's offense, but it's just so hard to try to figure out how much of last season was due to the poor construction of the offense for whatever reason. I don't want to sit here and bag on Seth Luttrell. It just didn't really work out very well for him. I know Seth knows football. I mean, the guy coached under Mike Leach for a long period of time. I mean, Kevin Wilson has been an influence of his going way back. I mean, so he's been around and in the room with elite people. He was successful as a head coach at North Texas. So I don't understand why that just went haywire. I think not having a quarterback coach was a big issue last year. But still, is the talent upgraded enough for the Oklahoma offense to be what it needs to be? I mean, we're going to find out.
The offensive line, I mean, that is so important. I'm with you on the receivers. It's like last year is different, but the receivers have typically not been a worry at the University of Oklahoma. Defensively, is there a group where you're like, yeah, I just don't know. I know the defensive line's pretty ballyhooed. A lot of people said the secondary earlier, though.
Well, but there's experience everywhere in the secondary. They lose Billy Bowman, but Gentry Williams didn't play very much last year. I think he's one of their better players back there. Yeah, they should be good. I mean, Robert Spears Jennings is going to be here today. I think he had a kind of a breakthrough season a year ago.
Hey, I think earlier I mistakenly said Peyton Bowen, Matt, when I meant Eli Bowen.
Eli Bowen.
But
gotcha.
I thought he had a pretty good freshman year, Mark.
Really good.
Yeah, I thought so.
For his size, to be able to play the way that he did, I mean, he is incredibly tough.
I mean, that's the one concern, is it not? Because, I mean, and again, I thought he had a pretty good year for a freshman, really good year, but he did, sometimes that size hurt a little bit, like that last defensive possession against Missouri, whenever didn't the Tigers convert like a 3rd and 16, and then I think they threw the touchdown in his direction. But I thought he had a pretty good year for a freshman, true freshman anyway.
He had 6 pass breakups. Billy Bowman had 14 in his entire career at the University of Oklahoma. That's
eye test, he passed it to me. I mean, even if he was
no
small,
doubt,
he was tough. I mean, he got after people.
So defensively, I'm not really worried about that. That's what I want to figure out. And I know that's the big question is like, what percentage of the blame do you place on Jackson Arnold and the coaching staff and the offensive line? I don't even know if it's possible to do that. I don't know if you can untie all of those things from each other. I think that they're all so intertwined that you get what you saw last year, and then the injuries as well. If OU can play any complimentary football at all this year, Mark, it'll be more than they did last year.
Right. Yep. I agree with that.
Did you happen to hear? You probably didn't because you were busy getting your car potentially immobilized. Bill Haston was on with Gideon Hamilton yesterday. Did you happen to catch that maybe on the podcast page, or we're going to play some of that for you if you didn't hear that?
Here, and I heard you guys talking about it, and I also had my headset off at the time that you guys were discussing that on the radio. I was chasing Chris Doring all over the place.
I thought he had a really interesting take on Joe C, not just like the temperature of the room, but with the ramifications of what that's going to mean. So a couple parts here. Here's the first part of Bill Haston on Joe C.
I sat down for 2 hours with Mike Houck and Joe Castiglione in March of 23. 2 hour, 20-minute interview. And Joe stated at that time, and a lot can happen between then and today. I get that. But Joe said, what, so once you get into the SEC, are you going to be inclined to start thinking and looking around at your next thing or retirement even? And he said, no, I'm committed to staying in Oklahoma for several years after the SEC transition. Okay. So we're 1 year into it, and Joe announces he retires. And then Barry Trammell, I noticed, I was there that day that Joe announced, what he was going to be doing, and it felt funny. Just being in the room felt funny to me. It didn't feel at all like it didn't. I don't know. It didn't feel like a celebration of any sort of a guy who's done an amazing job with that place, pulling it out of debt, hiring Bob Stoops, providing brilliant stability for 27 years. It felt a little odd.
I was not in the room, Mark, so I can't characterize it, but obviously we will have to trust Bill's characterization of that. It does seem kind of strange based on every guy who's saying, yeah, but I want to stick around for the SEC and then gone after one season. Will retire in his current role after one season.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it really does. I mean, if
I should say 2 seasons. Time flies.
I don't believe that there was any pressure on him to leave. Now, I do think it is very possible and plausible that there were some decisions made in the direction of the football program with some hires that were made and other things that weren't necessarily left completely up to him. And so I think he had been used to running things for a long period of time, and maybe there was more influence from a Randall Stevenson camp or Joe Harris than he was used to necessarily having. But I don't believe in any way, shape, form was there pressure put on him to say, I'm calling it quits.
I don't necessarily think so either. I just wonder how you can finesse it, and probably need to play this next clip actually before I say what I'm about to say. So here's a little bit more from Bill Haston.
Barry Trammell is down there in Norman. Barry Trammell talks to those people all the time. Barry Trammell writes that there are strained relationships at the top of the university. This is the worst time ever to have strained relationships when you're getting into the SEC for real now. I mean, you're in it, but you're in it now, and the stakes are higher than ever before. And with regard to the money you're asking from your people, and that applies to all these schools, you're asking for so much more money than ever before, and now you've got, Barry Trammell reporting that what Barry had been hearing was that the current administration wants a break from the Boren years. Well, Joe and Boren and Bob Stoops were a pretty formidable holy trinity down there for 20 years almost. So I don't know if I'd be wanting to break away from necessarily from that. If that means nudging Joe Castiglione, are you kidding me?
I guess the crux of it for me, Mark, is I'm just looking at where Oklahoma is in the second year in the SEC, and then with the state of college football. If there is any way to keep any consistency and continuity in your athletic department, I think that could potentially benefit you. And now you're in a situation where, man, you better nail this hire. You absolutely need to nail this hire.
Anybody that's talking about this is so tentative to come out and just say, yeah, he's forced out. They wanted him to go. They're ready to make a move. I mean, it's something else. I know, you know what I mean? And so I think that with any job, there comes a time, and at Joe C's age, made a lot of money, and he can enjoy the fruits of life, because being an athletic director now is an incredibly difficult job that has transitioned from an administrative role to a business role. And raising money is difficult. I think that at times OU was a little bit behind in some of the things that they were doing. In as far as wanting to pay athletes, they were not going to do things the way that Texas Tech was doing things, the way that Miami was doing things, and that, okay, we're going to set up this big, powerful collective, and we're going to go find a bunch of money, and we're just going to start paying players, and we're going to overpay them to come here. I think that they felt like that was against the spirit of the rules. Joe Castiglione did. This all is going on at the same time that the football team is losing some games. With the Brent hire, I would think that everybody was on board for that. And Joe Harris would have had to sign off on the contract extension that they gave Brent Venables. It wasn't just Joe C walking in Brent's office and go, hey, I think you need more job security as we go into the SEC. So we're going to give you a 5-year buyout for the price of your salary. That has to be signed off on by the president also. I think that everybody wants to have some kind of dirt, or has there been some tension? I would say absolutely. So, I mean, hiring a guy to manage the football program like Jim Naggie, which that I think was a brilliant move. If Joe Castiglione didn't have didn't have his fingers all over that, I understand, and I don't think he necessarily did. So if that was a Randall Stevenson move or it was a Joe Harris move, then I could see maybe Joe C being a little bit upset by that. But I think it's the right move. I think that he's done a great job. We're going to talk to him today, at least in kind of organizing what the roster needs are. If people think OU is going to make a big move and compete in the SEC, a lot of that is going to be due to the fact of people that they brought in the portal this year, whether it's offensive line or the quarterback or Jaden Ott or any of that stuff, which I think directly goes back to Naggie.
We mentioned there'd be a couple of representatives. I don't know if we said actually that Jim Naggie will be coming on at some point today. So we'll hear from Jim Naggie today, right? Yeah. So that'll be good to hear in his words. And then, I guess the final thing I'll say on the OU thing is there's a lot of smoke out there and there's a lot of perspective and everybody's got their own opinion, their own interpretation of what happened. That's why it was kind of eyebrow raising to me to hear Bill Hastings talk about it that way and that, with not much enthusiasm, I guess, for lack of a better word, because I don't know if people are I wonder if people maybe are underselling how important this is going to be moving forward here in finding this next athletic director. But then again, everybody understands that's a very important role to play. I'm anxious about it. I'm anxious to see what it looks like and who that will be and what role exactly they will play and how Oklahoma adapts.
Yeah, I mean, this could go a lot of different ways. I mean, there are tons of former employees and current employees at University of Oklahoma that have decorated resumes that were there under Joe Castiglione. I can't imagine them if you want to make a move away from David Boren and all those kind of things, then you probably aren't going to consider some of the people that were there under Joe C., which makes no sense because there's a ton of qualified candidates for that. But do you want to? If Randall Stevenson is going to hire the athletic director, and I think that he's going to be the guy that helps make that decision to present it to the board, you would think that it probably will be somebody with more of a business background.
Yeah.
And I think the college landscape is shifting and changing so fast. I mean, a year ago, before we have this settlement, universities can pay athletes directly. You really would definitely want a fundraiser or somebody that's able to go out and raise some of that money to be able to get it through the collective. But it's kind of changing back to a more traditional type environment. And so you've got a GM there in charge of the football program that I think is pretty qualified. And so who the next guy is going to be, I think it's going to be interesting to see how this process plays out. It's going to be a lot easier if the next athletic director doesn't have to hire a new football coach.
You mentioned collectives there. It does seem like they're going away, or at least are reconfiguring. OU is joining banners with Learfield now, and so their NIL operations are all going to be under the Learfield banner.
Learfield is just a big ad. Learfield, what they do is they sell ads. I mean, so that's a good partnership to have. Texas A&M spun their rights group together to basically pay the university. That's what Learfield does. They pay for the broadcast rights, and they make their money in return by selling ads. So they'll be Learfield will be trying to get legitimate NIL money. Like, hey, so-and-so, Eli Bowen is going to go to Wendy's, and he's going to sell Frosties in the drive-thru one day, and he's going to get a little NIL money, So that's how that's all going to work. But I don't think you're going to just see schools brazenly pay athletes to come the way that Texas Tech had done in the past and other schools, because the advantage of cheating, I think, doesn't outweigh the arms race that everybody would have to undertake to continue to pay players millions and millions of dollars just to come. So
it's a good thing. It's a good thing these collectives are going away. Now, I want to see players paid under contracts. That's where I want to get to. But the collectives, there was under no shape and form was that ever NIL. That was pay for play.
Yeah,
that was pay for play. All right, well, good talk. If people want to go hear that entire Bill Hastings interview, because there's some context I cut out of there even because it was a longer answer, but people need to go hear that. That's on our podcast page if you want to.
One more thing is, I used to have a ton of contacts and knew people very well that have been on the OU Board of Regents. I'll just admit I don't right now. So it's some of the regents feel a certain way. That would go a long way into the direction that they might want it to take. So.
Sure thing. It's all fascinating. It is all fascinating because all this is changing. It's a moving target you got to hit. Mark is down in Atlanta for SEC Media Days at the College Football Hall of Fame. We're here in Kingfisher. Johnson's at Kingfisher today. When we come back, we'll talk about the MLB All-Star game and some of the other schools that are represented today at SEC Media Days. Alabama, Mississippi State. Jeff Lebby speaking earlier. Florida Gators as well as the Oklahoma Sooners. We will be right back on the Sports Animal.
The Ultimate opens up on everything from sports to food and family. Check out the Julie and Jim Traver podcast with new episodes.
night in Atlanta. That's where Mark Rodgers is, by the way. 6-6 final, the All-Star, and they had to go to a swing-off, a home run swing-off. And so Kyle Schwarber wins the MVP for having really good batting practice, but 3 clutch home runs gets it done. What do you think about the swing-off, Mark?
Well, I think Kyle Schwarber was just built for that moment. I mean, it was perfect.
No kidding.
That he was able to get up there to the plate. Now, the one I didn't hear the TV, and I was really, tell you the truth, about half asleep when that happened. But was it just the next guy in the order, or did the managers have to select from the guys that were still in the game to go up there to the plate?
That's a good question, Matt. Do you know the answer to that?
I thought they could select anybody.
As far as how they were chosen?
I thought
They couldn't pick somebody like Tarek Skubal came walking out in his street clothes. Like if you were out of the game, you couldn't go back into the game, could you?
They are selected a day in advance, is how the rules are laying that out. So you got to select it the day before. 3 players on the team's active roster who have agreed to participate. What about penalty kicks? That's kind of how it is, right? You're just like, say, hey, you're up. Or is that decided before too?
Well, the way that the All-Star game is played, everybody that is picked, you try to get everybody into the game. I mean, you want to, and I think that's cool. I think it's good for the fans. There's really not a whole lot that goes into deciding, and it's just the way that it should be. Like having the All-Star game decide who has home field advantage in the World Series is the most asinine idea I think of my lifetime in sports. That is just stupid. And so it's a great display for the fans. To end it that way, to me, is awesome. I mean, I've seen an All-Star game just basically call the tie because they didn't know what to do better than that. But the managers are going to try to play everybody. They're going to try to get all the pitchers out there to get into the game, which is cool to see all those guys. And so if you have to end it with a home run derby, so be it. I have no problem with that at all.
Matt mentioned this earlier, but the hologram, or what did you call that?
Yes.
Really more of a projection of Hank Aaron's 715th home run. That was cool.
I at that moment, I was mad at myself for not just going out there and buying a ticket last night. I mean, it was expensive to get in, but I think to see that would have been so cool. I mean, that game last night had a lot of cool things in it. I mean, with Freeman back in Atlanta getting the ovation, Clayton Kershaw getting his strikeout, wanting to keep the ball. I mean, that was all, I thought, really cool.
I've been really critical of the All-Star game lately, and I'm not really meant to. Like, I don't want to come in here and be negative all the time, but just really lately, especially, it's not done anything for me. Some of the selections really threw me off, but I got to say, that was a really good MLB All-Star game. So that was cool. Since 2013, guys, the NL has won twice, and 2 of those are the last 3 years, right? So
I thought they added one.
Not won it very much
when it was 6-0, man. And then we were, hey, maybe Mizrowski shouldn't have been picked. There's a lot to that. Like you said, if they went 12 dudes down and they finally got to him, that guy he is a flamethrower. I mean, he was impressive. I thought his performance out there was off the charts good. So
yeah, I don't know if you ever do this, Mark, like when you get off air, sometimes you think, man, I really wish I had that segment back because I didn't really say what I meant to. What I should have said was that guy throws 103, and that's why he's in the All-Star game.
Yeah, I mean, he was fired it in there 2 miles an hour faster than Skeens, and Skeens was just, blowing people away at the beginning of the game.
It's pretty fun to watch when a guy can throw it like that. So I totally get it. And I was kind of critical of that. So, and then Kyle Schwarber, list of games that he has homered in: AL wildcard, NL wildcard, ALDS, NLDS, ALCS, NLCS, World Series, the World Baseball Classic, and now the All-Star game. Kyle Schwarber, Matt and I love him because of his service with the Cubs, but that dude is a certified home run hitter. That is what he does. He was born to hit home runs.
Yeah, and, I think the fact that how many years had they worn some kind of stupid-looking American or National League jersey, like put the players in their own jerseys, like they did last night. That was
loved it.
A great move.
You like that, Matt? I like that too.
Oh my word, yes, absolutely. Where all the made to be sold stuff during the home run derby and all that. That was the right, in my opinion. And look, I get there's a money making side of it. I understand that, but love seeing the old school way of doing that.
Marcus, where do you fall on the? And I may have asked you this before, so I apologize if I have. Where do you fall on the home field advantage for the All-Star game win, giving it a little stakes?
Yeah.
You for that? You against it? There's somebody on the text line who loves that, who really wants to see that back, and I disagree wholeheartedly.
Okay, I'm glad the All-Star game is something to play for, like home field advantage. That is the dumbest idea in the history of sports. You're not managing that game to win it. You're managing the game for the fans to get all of the players involved. And if you've got a team in the one league or the other, whatever it might be, say this guy that's texting in, if you've got a favorite team, you win 105 games one year and you win your league, and then you go to the World Series and you're telling me like an 85-win team from the other league gets the home field advantage? And that makes sense how? It doesn't. It's a terrible idea.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. I mean, like you Thunder fans out there, the East beats the West in the All-Star game, and so you don't get home court advantage in the finals. You have to play Game 7 in Indiana. You know, like that's what could happen. It's a horrible rule. I'm sorry. If you like that, I can understand there should be some maybe prestige or some weight to it, but it's an all-star game. It's an exhibition. So
man,
I've got no issue
smoking weed.
Agreed on that. There's no issue with the swing off for me. I've got no issue with going away from the home field advantage for the all-star game. I think those are both good moves. Those are both good moves. I have a confession to make to you, Mark Rodgers.
Okay.
Before we hit this timeout, I'm starting to like Arch Manning. The more I hear him talk, the more I see him handle all this pressure extremely well. And I don't think he's just like a nice guy who will fall over. I do think that there's a little bit of competitive fire in him. And there needs to be if you're going to succeed on the highest level. I'm starting to like Arch Manning. Now, I reserve the right to change my opinion, like Chris Doring said earlier, but I'm starting to like the guy.
Why would you like him? I think he's likable.
Because he's a Longhorn, mostly.
We had a clip of him saying yesterday that he's not allowed to be a turd. That was
we played that earlier. Yeah,
that was really good.
I think was that the Heisman clip, Matt? I think that was from the Heisman.
Yeah, I'll
Let's
go back
play.
through it.
Straight ruckus when he walked in the room yesterday.
Oh, I can't imagine. Was it like even bigger than like Dion in Colorado and all that? It has to be.
There was I think probably that's fair. Yeah, but I mean, of all of the schools that are here and all of the good players that have been through, there's nobody that's been. And like I said, I don't even think Arch Manning. He's not the best player at Texas.
He was dressed like he was in a pledge class.
Mm-hmm.
Like he really had the khaki slacks on and the tie and the jacket. Like he looked like some guy who'd be miserable in like a mid-September OU football game. He was getting ready to be in a fraternity.
I think I have really good friends, good family to keep me grounded, keep me honest. Whenever I'm acting like a turd, they tell me.
You need that. You need somebody to tell you that every once in a while. I mean, that's a good thing to have. And my friends will, by the way. I mean, they don't mind telling me.
I think he's going to be good. This just
yeah. No, but there's a lot of people who don't. There's a lot of people who don't think he'll live up to the hype. I said earlier, Mark, if he's like a 7.5 out of 10, Texas is winning a lot of ball games. If he's a 10 out of 10, they're not losing. They're not losing this year.
I agree.
All right, we'll come back, and we are going to honor Jalen Williams. J-Will. Happy J-Will Day out there. We'll figure out how we're going to celebrate and dedicate this day to the one of the best smiles in sports. Jalen Williams. That's when we return here to Johnson's of Kingfisher. Forget the nonsense. Drive to Johnson's. We're going to find out why you get a dealer for life. Awesome service department out here as well. And if you're looking for a vehicle, you can check out their inventory online at johnsonsofkingfisher.com. If they don't have it now, they can get it for you. Awesome car buying experience out here in Kingfisher. Johnson's. We'll be right back on the Sports Animal.
OKC, your Oklahoma.
Sports Animal app or click on thesportsanimal.com for the latest on WWLS shows and events, live play-by-play game schedules, the 2025 OU and OSU football calendar, news on the Thunder, college football, and so much more. Plus, 24/7 streaming and all of your favorite WWLS podcasts. It's all available on thesportsanimal.com and the Sports Animal app.
But guess what? We're
Jay Will on the parade day. I will never forget Mark and Matt standing where I was standing with Rachel and her dad, and I looked over at the face that Rachel made whenever he said that, and it was a face that I've never seen her make before. It was a mix of like, oh bleep, and like also like one of the happiest moments I've ever seen. It was awesome. That was a great moment, even though not everybody on the station enjoyed that. Happy Jay Will Day, guys.
Very cool. I mean, we're getting up there, more important in the list of days.
That's right. That is right. What do we have coming up tomorrow? I should know. I should have all these days in my calendar. To be honest with you,
aren't we? Shouldn't we be somewhere around like Wiggins Day or somewhere in there?
Whose day was it
Maybe
yesterday?
Kenrich.
Tomorrow, AJ Mitchell Day yesterday.
Yeah,
Everybody used their left hands.
He almost stole the show from AJ Mitchell Day.
AJ does not need to be in Summer League, by the way. He's too good for Summer League, which I want to bring up in a second. Tomorrow will be Kenrich Williams Day, so got to celebrate accordingly.
Mark nailed it.
To get the shag haircut that he has, you know what I'm talking about? How he's got like the little shaved thing, but there's a little piece of hair below that. We all got to get that haircut for Kenrich Williams Day.
I'll do my best.
What you should do tomorrow to celebrate Kenrich Williams Day is hustle. You should hustle everywhere you go.
Everywhere you
Hustle
go.
everywhere.
Yeah, I like that. That's good.
Don't be afraid to mix it up. Friday will be Isaiah Joe Day. So, and then next week starts with Aaron Wiggins Day. That's going to be a great day, July the 21st.
Aaron Wiggins Day, you have to make like some incredible speech. Like you have to, get like up on like a hillside somewhere and basically give the Sermon on the Mount or something.
You got to do your
like
best
that.
to save basketball on
right.
Aaron Wiggins Day. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do.
Aaron Wiggins Day, and it's on the weekend, right?
That's a month. I think the 21st is Monday.
The 21st is a Monday. The 22nd is a very important day, by the way. But the 21st on a Monday, you should do everything in a short amount of time. Like you should rest all day and then with intensity, go in and do your best for a short period of time, just like Wiggins is
Matt,
supposed to do.
Matt, no pressure. Mark just said you need to wish him happy birthday next Tuesday.
That's
all he's saying.
22nd, right?
That's all he's saying.
That's right.
That's all he's saying. He's got to be 30 years old, or at least that's what I heard jumping on the canal. So, absolutely. So Summer League, I don't know if you guys caught the game last night. Isaiah Thomas was just going on and on about Brandon Carlson. He's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this guy was undrafted. He was trying to get him in the starting lineup, or at least like one of the first guys off the bench. But I was thinking about it. They're going to have 5 bigs next year. They've got Chet. They've got Isaiah Hartenstein. You still got Jay Will, and it's his day today. You got Thomas Sorber, you just drafted. That's 4 of them, and Brandon Carlson. So these are guys who Brandon Carlson could probably play somewhere, but they got him on another 2-way contract.
Isaiah Thomas never ceases to amaze me with the lack of knowledge he has. How he can walk around and work for NBA TV or anyone else. And just
it makes sense of what happened in his GM days, doesn't it? I mean,
that's crazy.
Whew. Yeah, it is. And I look, full disclosure, I like Brandon Carlson. He's a nice player. I mean, he's 7 foot tall and he can shoot. And you saw a little bit last night's ability to catch a lob, a great lob he caught from Nikola Topic there. And he had a 4-point play as well. But he's not 20. And if he was 20, I'd be a lot more intrigued. But he's 26. Like we kind of know what he is, Mark. And so I like Brandon Carlson. I just I don't think he's going to play very much, especially with drafting Sorber.
I don't think so either. I mean, and hey, having a big game in the summer league is not that doesn't really mean anything. I don't. No, I agree. People who put up numbers in summer league, really, what worries me is when guys look like they obviously don't belong out there. And even then, like I remember when Trae Young came on, it was bad. It was really, really rough. But he, obviously that didn't really impact his career a whole lot. Bobby Marks yesterday on a different broadcast said that Nikola Topic would have been a top 5 pick in this year's draft, and his playmaking and his passing is starting to, I think, get better and better. I think as he continues to knock the rust off, I'm intrigued with Nikola Topic for sure. Yeah. Well, and again, he's had very little experience and has had very little playing time since his injury. So I think the bigger and better things are yet to come for him.
AJ Mitchell, though, I mean, he's there. I think he's only playing in summer league because he wants to be there. It's the only reason he's there. I almost don't need to see him out there because I know that he can play. But AJ Mitchell, I think, is he was already part of the rotation before the turf toe injury, so I don't know how Topic fits into that. But I'm intrigued with the skill set.
AJ Mitchell last year before he got hurt. I mean,
I hear you, man. I hear you.
That game where he came in, had 17 off the bench, and was firing in threes, and if he improves over the next couple of years, he's going to be one of the better backup point guards in the league.
Here's the stat line against the Magic: 27 points, 7 boards, 4 assists, 9 of 13. He had 2 steals and a block as well. Those are stupid numbers in summer league, but he's a guy who it never really felt like he was a rookie because he never got sped up the way that you see rookies get sped up. He plays at his own pace. He's not an amazing athlete or anything like that, and that's why he got drafted where he did. But he is maybe the best player in summer league, or at least is on a short list of best players in summer league. I mean, he is so solid, and if Mark, he can become a scoring threat too. He's able to get to the free throw line a little bit. He never turns the ball over. I think he needs to be part of the rotation next year.
He will be. I think.
It was a part of the rotation. Yeah. I mean, he got finals minutes, so absolutely.
He will be, and he really had some bad luck in the finals. I mean, he just had that one possession where he went crazy, and he had, I think, he shot the ball 2 times or 3 times, and left the game 0 for 3. Got torched on defense once, and so I think if he got some more minutes, he'd have been fine. You know, it would have looked different.
He missed a shot, and then he followed it, which is what you're supposed to do. Unfortunately, he missed the putback as well, and then Halliburton pump faked. He flew by, and Halliburton made a 3, and that ended up being a big sequence when you look at the final score in that game. So I thought AJ Mitchell was fine in his minutes. He wasn't great. He also didn't kill them, but it was just that one play that stood out, and I understand why, because of how that game went down. But feels like ancient history for now. So, all right, Mark, I'm going to leave you, but I want to ask you, I mean, what are you wanting to hear from R. Mason Thomas? What do you want to hear from Jim Naggie a little bit later on? What you wanted to hear from Robert Spears Jennings? What you looking forward to for OU?
Yeah, I think generally just to see how the summer's been going. I'm not going to spoil the questions coming up today by teasing them or showing you the behind the curtains. And we're going to talk with one of our Cumulus brothers from South Carolina coming up in the show too here. So we'll hear from Brent Venables at the podium. So we got a lot of coverage in queue for you here from SEC Media Days.
It's good to hear from Eric G. yesterday. I used to work with Eric G. a long time ago. So now he's over there covering the Hogs, and it was funny to hear him on air go through the. How did Brad put it? It was like at first he was doing his radio show and then was adjusting it to the OKC audience. That's really what it sounded like.
Yeah, he went from 10 wins to 4 wins. I mean, in the middle of the conversation. I mean, like if you look at their schedule, my goodness, St. Pittman. I mean, people better get a good look at him tomorrow while he's here because it's going to be the last time.
I thought he was going to be gone last year, but he, I guess, did enough, winning 7 games. When was the last time Arkansas won 10 games? Last time they won double-digit games was in 2011.
The last time
it's been almost 15 years.
Was the 12th. It's never happened. I mean, so
it's never happened. Yeah.
I think he's a good coach. I think running him off is a mistake, and I think Arkansas fans are crazy if they think that they should win 8-9 games this year. They're nuts.
Yeah, what are the expectations from these guys? I mean, they, like you said, historically, it's not been there. So why would you expect them to, in this SEC, especially a fortified SEC?
Right. It's kind of a. I mean, and then again, I mean, whoever's scheduling their non-conference schedule is not a Sam Pittman fan either. Playing Notre Dame and at Memphis, you want to play at Memphis. Play a really, really good team that's a group of 5 team on the road. No, thank you. That's dumb.
That's one of those things that sounds nice. Like, yeah, we want to play the toughest teams in college football until it's actually on your schedule, until that's basically a loss for you, and then you got to start off the season poorly.
Yeah.
So that's all. It always feels nice to say. So, all right, we'll be looking forward to your coverage from SEC Media Days. I know we're on YouTube, and also you can check it out on the Sports Animal app as well as our Facebook page as well. Everything will be podcasted. And so if you missed anything from our show today, of course, Mark's got some interviews coming up later today. If you're not living and dying on every moment, the Sports Animal, we will have it all podcasted for you on the podcast page. You can find those on the Sports Animal app as well. Thank you to Mark Rodgers, doing a great job down there at SEC Media Days. Media Day Mark. Maybe Magic City Mark. We'll find out here a little bit later. Also want to say a big thank you to Matt Meyer back at the studio, producing the show today, doing an excellent job. Louis Elder here, keeping us on air, and I appreciate his efforts very much here at Johnson's of Kingfisher. Great folks out here, johnsonsofkingfisher.com if you'd like to check out their inventory. And the drive will return tomorrow, but the middle of the day show's up next.
I got up this morning, did my push-ups in the nude. I didn't...
buying metal online easy so you can spend less time shopping and more time getting things done. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores.
That's a good question. The weather is going to be a little mild. Like it's definitely going to rain, but how hard it's going to rain and how hard the wind is going to blow is yet to be seen. Last time it was at Portrush. Let me double check this.
Broadcasting sponsored by Parish Devon Injury Lawyers. WWLS FM.
Last time it was at Portrush, Shane Lowry
works. He's well known in the sports community.
Yeah, maybe 8 to 10. It just all depends on the weather.
Got no chance. And he's ready to talk sports.
Give him a call, see what the dealio is.
This is the Middle of the Day Show with Mark Rodgers on 98.1 WWLS, the sports animal.
It is the Middle of the Day Show from day 3 of SEC Media Days in Atlanta. Mark Rodgers with you, Sam Humphreys hanging out in studio. How are you doing, Sam?
Doing great, Mark. What's up? It's OU Day. Did I leave you speechless, Mark? Hopefully we didn't just lose Mark Rodgers live from Atlanta.
No, sorry.
Are you back? Okay.
We're going to have an interview with Ian Fitzsimmons coming up a little bit later on in the show, and he was talking about one of his favorite places to eat yesterday in Oklahoma City, and it's one of my favorite places to eat, and I completely blanked on mentioning it. So that was ridiculous. An out-of-the-way gym, I would say. You ever eat at Michael's Grill?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
Of course.
They have the toast points, like the cheesy bread.
Yes.
You just fill up on that before you eat anything else.
I have been lucky enough to sit in on a couple dinners with Dean and Brooksy and Brad Lund and my dad. And Brooksy just holds court in Michael's every once in a while.
Yeah, Brad might as well be the maitre d'. In there.
Yeah, that's right. Brad.
He's
Yeah.
in there it's just like a hop, skip, and a jump from his house. They also have the very delicious brandy ice. I mean, like, it's the best there is. So I'm hungry.
It's
right
awesome.
Now. I've been thinking about Magic City wings all day. Now I'm thinking about Michael's Grill. And I just had a.
So Perk hasn't tweeted back at you yet about Magic City?
No, I don't know what's going on with Perk, man. I thought, again, we used to be friends. We shot a TV commercial together back in the day. I don't know. Perk's blowing me off. It might be.
I mean, you got to get the lemon pepper, right?
I think so. I looked at. Do I want to pay the $2 extra to go all flats, or should I just get the combo?
I mean, Perk always says all flats.
No, I like the flats. It's pretty good. But I think probably should mix in a couple of different flavors. I mean, it's 15 to an order. I don't know if I can eat 15.
Have you looked at a menu yet? Like, what are the other flavors?
I got a menu, man. I got a menu tweeted to me or texted me earlier today. Here's what we got. Let's go back a little bit. Sorry. Okay. The Lou Will Lemon Pepper Barbecue. No, it's a 10-piece for $15. All flats are $17. It comes with a order of fries.
I mean, if you entered the strip club and only spend $17, that's a win.
But
and you
here's
get lemon pepper wings.
You don't have to enter the strip club.
Oh, it's
Pick 'em
separate.
up to go.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, all of this is based on whether or not the car has been immobilized with a boot due to my trying to avoid the $30 parking yesterday.
I heard you mention that. Would you care to explain what happened this morning?
I don't know that they're blowing up my text. It's unbelievable. Trying to get me to pay. They're also it's just ridiculous. So I have no idea what's going on. These parking people are Nazis in downtown Atlanta. It's somewhat ridiculous.
So you said that it was a $7 lot, and they were trying to get you to pay $30 or something to that extent, right?
$7 per hour. Then it also says minimum $30, maximum $30 a day, and there's a timer on it. I mean, it's like running a timer. So if it's a minimum, why the timer? I mean, I would gladly pay my $7. Feel like that still getting jacked on that, but I'm not paying $30. It's the principle of it.
1,000%. I'm totally with you. That's one thing that I don't know if people in Oklahoma City realize how lucky they are with like little stuff like that, like parking prices. Like when you travel around the country, everything is jacked up. It's very affordable here.
Uncle Jeff, honey jerk. Juju, rude boy jerk. I like some jerk wings. Let's go. Do we go half and half? And if they won't split the order up, do I just order 2 and then just hand them off to somebody on the way to the airport? I mean, there's no way I'm going to eat 20 wings.
I'm trying to find a menu here. Magic City
I'll
menu.
text it to you.
Yeah, text it to me.
Not bad. Coming your way right now. We should have some Oklahoma players here anytime in the next few minutes. And so I look forward to talking with them about the season. So today is media day is Alabama, Mississippi State, and Florida. Went downstairs and listened to some of the Mississippi State guys. Was interesting to hear what Brendan Thompson had to say. And, you know, we're talking about OU and who's going to step up in the receiving corps and how important that is. And they were really unspectacular last season. And then knowing that one of their players is the best player on another team. I mean, that's kind of blows you away. Why didn't we see more production from him a year ago if he's gone to Mississippi State and immediately toasted the head of the class and one of the 3 players that they chose to represent them at media day. I don't know if that's an indictment on Mississippi State or an indictment on everything that happened at OU.
You're explaining the exact reason why Phil Steele picked them last in the conference and said they're going to be a dog in all 8 SEC games.
Well, they didn't win one last year. So it might be difficult for them to do a whole lot of work. But I thought Brendan Thompson was pretty good and made some big plays for OU last year. But we'll see what he looks like in Jeff Lebby's offense. I mean, at least we know that they'll have a little bit more, kind of to him. So,
now, are you going French fries or onion rings?
Fries.
I'm totally with you on that.
What do the onion rings look like?
I don't know. Let's look.
Like, to me, the onion rings have to be the onion rings have to be pretty well done, and there has to be the right amount of batter on them.
Okay, I'm going to send you a picture here.
I'm Googling. I get it.
They look pretty crispy.
They look crispy?
Yes.
Those fries look pretty good.
The fries look good.
I'm more likely to eat an onion ring without a condiment on it than I am just a fry. Yeah, this place, it looks – I screwed up by not –
It looks pretty legit.
I got in really late on Sunday, and I should have just gone straight to Magic City and eaten the wings. I think everything would have been
so
a lot better.
You're saying you're starting to believe Lou Will when he said that he actually left the bubble to go to a funeral and was tired of eating hotel food and went to Magic City.
Yeah,
he wasn't there for anything else other than the wings.
Those onion rings do look pretty good. All right. Well, I'll have a review for you tomorrow. Hey, the British Open is sneaking up on us with everything else that's going on in the world.
That's right. We got the 73rd hole tonight.
The
British
mayor
Open
is
preview.
having the State of the City address coming up in about 15 minutes in which he is going to unveil the plans for the new arena. So that is really cool. We will have all of that coverage up on our website later today. So if you want to check it out, we don't want to listen through what I assume will not be 30 minutes of riveting political talk, then you can go to the website, and I'm sure we will discuss some of that coming up in the next hour of the show. I mean, it'd be cool to see that. I mean, they're spending almost $1 billion on the arena, which is almost $1 billion more than they spend on the arena that they play in now. So it's going to have some cool things in it.
I've heard that they've done a lot of research on this stuff. I'll be curious to see what Mayor Holt has to say today about the arena, but I know that they've taken trips to like London to see, Premier League facilities and get ideas from them. And it'll be very interesting and seems like it's going to be state of the art.
I bet. Yeah. If it's not, I mean, people are going to be pissed. So.
I'll tell you the biggest difference from a fan perspective going to a Thunder game as opposed to, other NBA games, or for instance, like I went down to Globe Life Field, which I feel like is one of the better experiences in professional sports. It's the concourse area and the time you have to wait in line to either get food or go to the bathroom. The concourses are so much bigger in other arenas than it is at the Ford Center or the Paycom Center.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, having some space there, but the footprint of the building isn't going to be a whole lot different, is it?
I'm not sure.
Size?
Now, have you seen the renderings yet?
No, I don't think anyone has.
Okay, so this will be the first time anyone sees it. I didn't know if you had the inside info.
No, I don't know. Yeah. No inside info on that. I don't. Okay, so I was saying the British Open is sneaking up on us, man. I need some.
Yes. Okay, I made my picks last night. I am going to go with Jon Rahm to win the British Open. Last year, I know a lot of people thought he had a bad year, which he did have a disappointing year. But he finished up the year with a tied for 7th at the British Open. He finished 2nd last week in his home country of Spain to Taylor Gooch. And, he has a really good British Open record, and he finished top 10 on this golf course at Royal Portrush back in 2019. So I think that Jon Rahm is primed and ready to kind of put his name back in the spotlight with all the attention that Scheffler gets and all the attention that Rory has gotten winning the career Grand Slam at Augusta and all that stuff. So I think that Jon Rahm is going to be determined to have a good week. Second, I am going with Tyrrell Hatton. I think the golf course suits him. He finished top 10. He finished tied for 6th back in 2019 when they had the British Open at Royal Portrush on this golf course. He's played well recently, finished top 10 at the U.S. Open in the last major championship. So I like Tyrrell Hatton. Third, I'm going with Scotty Scheffler. You can't have a top 3 without going with Scotty Scheffler. He's never won a British Open, never played on this golf course, but he's also never finished outside the top 25 at a British Open. So definitely think he'll win one eventually. This could be the week where he completes the 3rd leg of the Grand Slam. And then my dark horse and the guy that has the best record in the British Open of anybody in the field, I think the dark horse this week is pretty clear. I think you got to go with Jordan Spieth. Jordan Spieth, even though a lot of people have been down on him so far this year, Spieth recently has quietly been playing some really solid golf. Finished tied for 7th at the Memorial, finished top 25 at the U.S. Open, finished 4th at the Byron Nelson, 14th at the Masters, 12th at the Valero. And like I said, no one else has a better British Open record. Let me go through it here for you. Let's see. Starting last year and going backwards: 25th, 23rd, 8th, 2nd, 20th, tied for 9th. Won it back in 2017. Finished 4th in 2015, and so obviously never missed a cut at the British Open. So I think that Jordan Spieth is a pretty clear dark horse this week. Other guys that I think could have good weeks. I think Patrick Reed could have a good week. He finished tied for 11th last time the British Open was here. And then Ludwig Åberg, I think, even though he's only played in one British Open and missed the cut, he has played well on links courses at the Scottish Open. The Renaissance Club, he's finished top 10 at the Scottish Open 2 years in a row. I think that Ludwig Åberg's game suits links golf. And I also think that you got to keep an eye on Tommy Fleetwood. He finished runner-up here back in 2019 as well. So a lot of guys that played well back in 2019 have had pretty solid years this year in 2025. Obviously, Shane Lowry won it by 6 shots at 15 under back in 2019. But he had a really solid start to 2025. The putter has kind of abandoned him a little bit, but he loves the golf course, kind of his home country, right? With it being in Northern Ireland. He's Irish. Obviously, Rory is from Northern Ireland. I would tend to stay away a little bit from Rory McIlroy this week. I think he's playing good golf right now, not quite as well as he was playing earlier on in the season. But the reason why I would stay away from Rory is because I feel like at times he puts too much pressure on himself. And you kind of saw that last time that the British Open was here in 19, where he shot 79 in the opening round, then shot 65 and missed the cut by 1 shot. So anytime that Rory has a little extra added pressure, I think he tends to crumble a little bit. So I would tend to stay with guys that don't have the extra pressure on their shoulders this week. So anyways, any thoughts on all of that, Marcus? Any guys that you like or want me to give an opinion on?
So poorly in the golf contests that I've entered this year that I just winged it. I didn't put any amount of time, research, or effort into it other than during the break asking you what you thought the final score would be. So no, I don't know. I mean, look forward to watching some of that as it's overnight. Okay, we got to take a break here pretty quickly, but Oakmont they banned Wyndham Clark.
Well, I think
that's a little harsh, is it not?
Yes and no. Yes. I mean, he obviously beat up the locker room. I mean, tore apart 2 lockers in the locker room after the U.S. Open. He's definitely had a temper in the past, but I think they said there's a pathway that he could possibly return to the U.S. Open in 2033, I think is when they're having the U.S. Open there. But I think he's going to have to go through some counseling and other things, and obviously pay to repair the damages and all that stuff.
I'm paying to repair the damage to the locker. I mean, this locker must have been spectacularly destroyed if they're that pissed about it. Paying for the locker, I think that's fine. I don't know how much it could cost for them to craft a new locker in there. Probably pretty expensive. Might cost him $1,000 or something like that. But Oakmont Country Club is not telling me to go to anger management counseling. I'm sorry. Even if it might be for my own good. That's my decision, not theirs. That's stupid. That is arrogant and stupid. Now, again, I'm not trying to endorse Wyndham Clark's temper tantrum, but that's ridiculous that they're going to stipulate that. I mean, if that more than anything, I would stomach it better if it was coming from the tour.
Right. No, I'm with you, but you got to remember Oakmont's a private club, and they can do what they want. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Can Wyndham Clark give him the middle finger?
Right.
That's what I would do if I were him. I'm going to go back to your snobatorium anyway. Okay, let's take a break. Hopefully, we will have R. Mason Thomas coming our way here pretty quick and visit with some of the players. You're listening to SEC Media Day coverage on WWLS Sports Channel. chance to sit down yesterday late with Ian Fitzsimmons of ESPN Radio. He hosts the evening show. Good dude. Spent a lot of time in Dallas. And so we'll hear that, and hopefully we'll have some of the OU delegation here coming up very shortly. Ian Fitzsimmons with ESPN Radio and various other entities joining us here. You're coming in loud and clear in Oklahoma City during the evening, so I always enjoy listening to you.
Man, congratulations to the Thunder and a remarkable run. That team is built for a long haul. And when I was covering the Dallas Mavericks for the Mavs Radio Network, I know. Well, you guys have got the chip right now. But it was one of my favorite places to go, especially during the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
Because Bricktown was happening, and it still is, and it's one of the more underrated, underappreciated fan bases, areas that any sports fan can go to. It's awesome. So before we get into college football, man, just a tip of the cap to the Thunder, because wow, they are built for a long run, and they just paid a heck of a lot of guys. So congrats.
He's done a really good job. I'm exhausted from that playoff run, and Tim McMahon's now the mayor of Bricktown. I mean, he's been.
All right, hold on, wait a minute. So Timmy Mack, I mean, he and I were together with the Mavs and ESPN Dallas for many years. And he was covering Cowboys and Mavericks,
right,
and Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
When the Rangers were going to back-to-back World Series, we were kind of embedded with it with all three of those. The Stars I love, but look, I only got so much on my plate, right? I mean, to call Tim McMahon, a.k.a. Lurch, the mayor of Bricktown, just stop. Honey, hush.
They got the podcast going on at the Tipsy Tiki right there on the canal, and
of course he does.
So that was fun. I get to see him a few times.
Just keep him away from that really fine steakhouse, right. You know, named after a certain Hall of Famer. Yeah, let's that's not McMahon's speed. Keep him on the other end of Bricktown.
McMahon's. I think he's at McHogany's now, but Oklahoma City's got a few good places down there to enjoy yourself.
We go to some. God, what is that joint? There's an Italian place that PJ Carlissimo, of course, he found it. It's Italian. And it's in a strip mall.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It begins with a V, I think.
No.
It is amazing. Not trying to give out free plugs, but it's just our affinity for, OKC and just heading to that area.
Yeah, it's on North May Avenue, and it's driving me crazy.
When you walk in, you think that you've walked in, like Don Corleone is in the back table. There's amazing.
Vito's.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah, there's a couple of places up there, but
owner's
been there for a long time.
Real skinny. Yeah. Obviously black hair. But yeah, it's awesome. So sorry to take a big old exit before we even get on the on ramp when it comes to college football.
You were talking to Sark earlier today. Texas is my favorite to win the league. I think that they have maybe 4 of the best 10 defensive players in the conference. They've got enough on offense.
Anthony Hill's a baller.
Yeah, he might be the best.
Folks, if you don't know the name, All-American linebacker, if your NFL team gets this guy, he's sideline to sideline, and he arrives with bad intentions.
Mm-hmm.
And I was you mentioned how I was sitting down with Sark, Arch Manning, and Anthony Hill, and talking to Anthony Hill about how iron sharpens iron.
Mm-hmm.
With that defense going up against Sark's offense. And Arch from the back of the room goes, that dude knows our offense better than we do. He's the smartest player on the team. I just called Arch over and go ahead, elaborate. It's like, man, he's calling out run when it's obviously a run. I'm having to have a check with me now. And it's so frustrating.
Right.
Going up against a guy like that. So it's not just physical, it's also mental. It is a remarkable coaching staff. And Texas, I agree with you. They're one of, I think, 6 teams that I would not be surprised won this conference.
Yeah.
I think LSU's deep as hell. I think Oklahoma is going to be one of the, if not the surprise of college football. You look at Georgia, obviously. I mean, he said he doesn't pay attention to it when I sat down with him earlier, but he does. No one's talking about Georgia right now. It's all about Texas, the team that you brought up. It's all about Arch. And let the young man breathe and play half a season as the starter, and then we'll see what he's got, right? With DJ Lagway or John Napier or a lot of these, guys that – Napier has played a lot of football.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen him in this league.
That's
right?
true.
So I agree with you on Texas. They're deep, but, man, I think this conference again, I would not be surprised if 6 teams won it, including Alabama, who, boy, they are good.
One of the things that Texas reminds me a little bit of Bob Stoops' early staff at OU. They got really, really good assistants right now. I mean, that stability on that staff is really good. If you look at OU, they had Mangino, they had Venables.
They stayed for a while.
They did. They stayed around for a little while, and then they all went on. They had Leach on the first staff. He wasn't around for the second year, but I mean, he still had that pervasiveness of the
Venables
offense
was there
over
forever
Heupel,
before going,
right.
to with Dabo at Clemson. That's a great point because you got PK still there. Kyle Flood to me is one of the best offensive line coaches in all of college football. He should be a head coach. He's gone to the healing hand of Saban, and been there, and we know what he can do. He should be a head coach somewhere else. AJ Milwee, going down the list, man, of that staff. You are spot on, where the continuity goes a long way. Mm-hmm. It really does. Like when Clemson was winning 2 titles in 4 years, whatever it was, and I remember people forget that term, Clemsoning.
Yeah,
right.
Losing, they were going to choke in a big game
at some point. They squashed that, and the number one reason, Dabo will tell you, continuity on the coaching staff. They didn't lose an assistant coach for the longest damn time, from Danny Pearman to Tony Elliott, and on down. You bring up a great point, man, Mark, that when you have that kind of continuity on a powerhouse program, it goes so long because the message is never, ever lost. And that's what Sark's got going right now at Texas in his 5th year.
One of the things that's shocking to us about the Oklahoma football team is that people are speaking with such great reverence about the OU defensive line. Like, it's the best in the SEC. They're good. We understand that. They had some moments last year, but
they're there.
Are they good enough to get Oklahoma into a little bit of a title chase, where in November we're talking about, okay, this happens.
Put it this way. I saw an ESPN bet, this was 2 weeks ago, it may have changed by now, that the win total for Oklahoma was 6.5 or 7.
I think it's 7.5.
Okay.
If it's 6.5, it's skewed way to the over.
Still, even at 7.5.
Over.
Absolutely. Look, anybody who's doubting the competition level with Washington State and John Napier and Ben Arbuckle coming over as a quarterback in OC, as a damn near a package deal.
Mm-hmm.
Where the hell was Cam Ward before he went to Miami and went on to be the number 1 overall pick?
And Carter Ward, then Washington State.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, so you want to doubt competition, sometimes just watch the player and watch how he interacts with his teammates. Napier is a leader. Cam Ward was a leader. And Arbuckle is not even a rising star anymore in the coaching ranks. I mean, people now know the name. I thought it was a phenomenal hire by BV, and it's also the O-line. I mean, Jackson Arnold couldn't stand upright. Huck couldn't stand upright. It's one because of injury. The O-line's better. The D-line is a monster.
Mark, it just cut off. I think we're having some technical difficulties here and not able to connect with Mark Rodgers right now, but let's go ahead and do this. Let's hit a break real quick. I know that Mark has some special guests after the break, and we will hear from some Oklahoma Sooners, hopefully soon, here on Oklahoma's leader in sports, the Sports Animal.
It's time for a refreshing...
It's a $50 gift certificate for just $25. Don't be late.
Like how I prepared. It's just the process. I have the 85s, the 70% chances of what's the hydration, the nutrition, a lot of things. I can sit here and talk about a lot of things. So I think, I got reading my Bible more, getting the faith more. God was also a big thing too, because not also, it was the number one thing, because without him, I wouldn't be able to do what I do, to stay healthy, to grind it out the whole season like that, to be focused like that. So I had to focus on him to focus on this.
Who helped you process that film study? I assume that somebody was, key to helping you, coach in that angle.
My position coach, the way he watched films is I'm really a product of what he does every day. So, our coaching staff, they have their little inputs. Coach V has a little input about how he watches film. So taking stuff from certain people, and then you go and I watch Luke Kuechly talk about his film study, and Ray Lewis talk about his film study. So I'm just taking everything and I just look at certain things. So we don't all look at the same thing, except me and my position coach. But, I'm looking at – I also got to take into account that I can't see everything that I see on film. Like, when my hand is in the dirt, I can't see all that. So I focus on certain things, the minute details, and then after I see those, then it starts to match up. And we know they game plan for us too, so they may change stuff. But if I see it, I have no hesitation. I know most likely going to come, and if they do something different, then that's what we didn't game plan for.
How long did you have to dwell on whether or not you wanted to come back to Oklahoma or you wanted to go pro?
Not too long. I already knew I was coming back. I was just looking at everything, like all the possibilities, like just taking into consideration, talking to God, and ultimately coming back was the right thing for me.
Yeah. This defensive line is getting a lot of hype. There's a lot of praise going into the season. Tell me what you feel like is going to be a little bit better this year and how you guys have made a step up from a year ago in the offseason.
Yeah, we can always step up our conditioning, our communication. So that's the big thing, in the summer where we do a lot of conditioning, so we can stay out in the field longer, so we can do a 2-minute drill and then come back and do another 2-minute drill. Like it's like, as a D line, we're a little bit bigger, so we rotate a lot more than any other positions like that.
Yeah.
But big things for us, like Dom Williams being the leader for the DTs, Grayson Halton being the leader for the DTs, and me and PJ and Taylor Wine being the leader for the DN group. So it's like, and Marvin Jones. So for us, for what the media says about us, we know we can be, and we want to go do that.
Tell me a little bit about Marvin. I mean, he's a 5-star recruit, played at Florida State some, and so what's he going to bring to the table?
Yeah, he was my high school rival.
I was going to say, yeah.
I never won a game against him, so he can sit there. He can say that. But yeah, for him to come in, having that experience, I know experience a lot is a big thing for college football, because you just don't know what you don't know. So for him to come in, great player, funny and really funny in the locker room. Like, he's quiet, but he's like, you really talk to him. He's kind of funny. He got that chill kind of feel to him. He's smooth, like what some people call savvy.
But yeah, the experience he brings to the table from winning national championship in Georgia freshman year to playing at Florida State so he's seen both ends of it, national championship and then what Florida State did.
Yeah, they were down a little bit.
Yeah, nothing against Florida State, but he has what we want, and that's why we went and got him.
Did you grow up as a Knoll or a Gator? Or
no, not really. No,
neither
both
one?
my parents went to the University of Florida, Gator, but I never was like a fan.
Yeah, I got you. How good are the freshman offensive linemen?
They're good. They're really good, especially Michael Fasusi. He's nice. He's everything you would think you would want in a freshman offensive tackle. Maybe he's actually more than what you expect in offensive tackles, because usually, you come in, you don't know what you don't know, so you do kind of the wrong things. But he's handling it really well. It's like he's already a veteran.
Does he throw some plates around in the weight room?
Yeah, I'm actually in his lift group. So he's definitely up there with me. It might be a little bit more in me than in certain exercises, but yeah, he's good. He's everything you want in a freshman line.
All right, what quarterback you want to sack the most this year?
I really don't have
the first one.
Yeah, basically every game I want to get a sack. So anybody I can do a sack as much as I can.
Yeah. What do you think of the go around in the road games in the SEC as compared to the Big 12?
Yeah, it's definitely the environments are definitely different. You got the skill players, the offensive linemen, sizes, but the environment is different. Like, you got some stadiums that can really, like, I can barely hear myself think, like, talk to myself, and then you got the stadiums that are just insane. Like the OU rivalry is split in half. That might be the loudest stadium I've ever been in.
Yeah,
and it's split in half. Nobody's talking on one side, and then you got all this screaming on one side, but it's loud. It's really loud. But yeah, those stadiums are different.
Is that the moment? Is that the moment when your blood is, and you're most alive when you're coming down that ramp in the Cotton Bowl?
The butterflies in the stomach. Yeah, that's when you feel like, damn, I'm actually in here. Like, I'm actually doing this. Like, I'm living. Like, I'm actually a person.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's. I think that you can ask anybody. That's one of the most special environments in sports. So, you guys in and out? You just got here. You're not going to turn around and leave today?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
All right. Good. Maybe they get you something good to eat here today. So
sure.
All right.
What do you prefer? What do you go get in Atlanta?
I'm going to Magic City. I'm going to get the lemon pepper wings. So I'll let you know how it is. And I'm not be going in. I'm just going to get them in the drive-through.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I kind of like some jerk wings too. So I'm going to probably sample a little bit both of those. I'll let you know how it goes.
For sure.
Okay.
Appreciate you.
Good to see you, man.
Yes, sir.
All right. R. Mason Thomas had an outstanding year for OU last year, and projected to be one of the better rush ends in the conference this season. I mean,
Did you tell him to ask that question?
No, I didn't tell him to ask that question.
That was perfect.
I feel bad, man. They should let those guys at least have an Atlanta meal, right? I mean, I could send them to the varsity, like Brad said.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you're allowed to pay for guys' meals now, right? Mark, you should take the boys to Magic City with you.
Maybe I can hook that up. I'll tell Napier when he comes by that if they will be waiting outside for me, I'll drop off an order. Okay, let's take a quick break and then we can regroup a little bit. I just talked to Jim Naggie, so we're going to have him coming up in the next hour, and I think Napier is going to be over here pretty quickly. So you're listening to SEC Media Day coverage from the Omni College Football Hall of Fame in Atlanta. Stay tuned.
The Sports Animal Text Nation line at 405-900-WWLS. That's 405-900-9957 is served up by Johnny's Kitchen and Bar off I-240 and Walk.
shifting economy puts your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit Truehold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 4.
And Fishing with Tom Jones.
It's Mark Rodgers with on WWLS, the Sports Animal.
All right, rapid fire coverage here from SEC Media Days. We are joined by OU quarterback John Napier. Good to see you, man.
Yeah,
how was your summer?
It's real good.
It's been good?
Just putting in work, Coach Schmitty the whole time. It's been awesome.
Did you get out to Belmar and play some golf?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not.
Well,
I kind of put the clubs away.
Yeah, you have now?
I golf with Sam Bradford, and I embarrassed myself.
Oh, my gosh. Why did you – I mean, you want to scramble with him. That would be a good idea.
Yeah, right. No, we didn't scramble with him. Honestly, and now that I'm looking back, because I did golf last week with a bunch of the guys.
Yeah.
And this is – I'm going to nerd out a little bit. My T-spine – I like to lift, so my T-spine gets tight.
Yeah.
The ability to twist.
Sure.
And I stopped when I went home in May, and I kind of stopped being as strict on when I'm stretching it. So then it got tight again, and I started golfing bad. So now I'm doing a T-spine stretch again, and I golf better, but I put them up.
Isn't that just golf? Right?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
Belmar, you don't have to hit it far. I mean, if you play from the, play from the
Do you
tips.
have to hit it straight?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the native out there's. Well, all right. If we don't get to golf together, we'll do it. We'll do it.
Okay.
Soon.
Yeah, we'll do it
at some point in time. Yeah. You also gave up social media. Is that kind of been?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I gave it up.
release?
That kind of came out. I forgot what I said, but I just set a limit on it. It's still there.
You said you were. I remember what you said. You said that you like to read what people say about you, which I think is honest. I feel the same way.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like to read
for sure.
what people say about me too. But that to focus on everything you can't. I mean, I can't be feeling the need to check my phone all the time.
No doubt. Yeah.
Right?
So, like at night, I block it and I just keep to myself, and because you get caught up in it, and I used to get caught up in it bad, and it's all discipline. And I found out about myself, if I don't let myself have it, then I'll end up getting away from it. But if it's there and it's teasing me, I'm gonna go after it.
You mentioned Schmitty. What is Schmitty like compared to what you had at Washington State?
I had a good strength coach at Washington State. Schmitty, he's old school. He's great. He's gonna get the team where it needs to be, if that's fun or not, and we're getting there.
Tell me about some of the wide receivers, because that's an unknown for this team. There's a lot of new faces out there. I think I read something earlier today about Javonte Gibson.
Yeah.
Maybe progressing pretty well.
Yes.
So what does that look like?
A lot of the guys we got from the portal are from smaller schools, but that does not mean that they're not high caliber. I mean, we got some dudes, all of them, they can go and they're smart, and a lot of them have experience, and experience at the receiver position is huge, especially for me, because then we can really work out the kinks, and they're learning the offense great, and they're picking it up, and so we've been connecting real well.
Is that timing really essential to this offense?
Yes, huge, because you got to know where he's going to be, and there's progressional, so you're going from here to here to here, and if that third read isn't there where you need him to be, the whole play is screwed,
Yeah.
And I did it a couple of times. I've been doing it more recently in practice, and you got to look back on the other side of the field. And if he's not there, then it's tough business.
Tell me about your relationship with Arbuckle. I mean, did you guys, it seems like you're a perfect fit for each other. So was that something that you developed, or was it just by happenstance and just nature that relationship developed?
I feel like I got blessed with the coaches that I've had. I've talked to more and more quarterbacks, and the coaching. I get very detailed coaching, and I like it that way. To me, it needs to be that way. Like, it has to be a certain way. There's a certain way to do things. And Coach Buck and Coach Coos, the quarterback coach, have really, put all the detail in my mind. And now it's my job to put it on the field. So I got lucky. And then it's any relationship, you have to put time into it. He has to get to know me as a person. I got to get to know him. But that's happened. We spent a lot of time together, and not every day has been the prettiest day. We never pop off on each other, but we'll disagree, and then we'll come together as men and talk about what we need to talk about.
Does this team feel like it has the potential to – I mean, a lot of people are talking about Oklahoma as a team that's really going to make a move this year.
Mm-hmm.
And so does it have that feel around workouts this summer?
I think it's been very promising. We've been working real hard, and I'm very proud of all the guys on our team and what we've done. There's no limit to what we think we can do. We've been just the work we've been putting in, because my confidence comes from the work And it has nothing to do with anything that happened last year. It's the work I put in 2025, and I think all of us have put in a lot of work, especially on the offensive side of the ball. And so I'm very excited.
We've talked, you motivate yourself quite a bit by people doubting you. I mean, we talked about even going back to Little Elm when you were starting at a young age. People are not doubting you right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris Doering said here earlier today for SEC morning and said that you're his pick to win the Heisman Trophy. I mean, does that change the way that you motivate yourself?
I mean, and I think that plays into me getting off of social media because it's people don't realize it's harder, in my opinion, to deal with success than it is to deal with failure. Because any feeling of complacency or I'm good, I got it, it's unacceptable and it can't happen. And I'm not saying that I was feeling that way, but I know in my mind how I like to think and what needs to get me going. And all this positive stuff is cute and it's great, but it's not what I need to hear right now. And then it'll flip up at any moment I don't succeed. So it's all.
Yeah. What have you learned about Norman since you've been here? Is it kind of everything you expected it to be?
I didn't know much about it.
Mm-hmm.
People say it's a small town. I lived in Pullman for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Norman to me is not a small town.
Right.
There's plenty to do. But everybody's real nice. Like all the just people that live there, and they're real nice and they love Oklahoma. I ran into 2 people at Chipotle yesterday.
Yeah.
Just so nice. Like I was wearing a Didier Ranch shirt. Like a ranch, obviously.
Yeah.
Ranch,
right.
And just because they sponsor me, they send me some beef, and it's really good. Shout out Didier Ranch.
Okay,
but,
yeah.
And this lady just stopped me and asked me about the shirt, and then I was wearing this pin right here, and she asked about that. So then, she didn't know I played football. She didn't know who I was, but then it just started talking. And
what kind of cuts of beef do you get when the Didier Ranch sends you the package?
Filet, New York strip, and a ribeye.
Ribeye. I'm a ribeye guy. I like it. I like a little marbling in there.
I've been told to eat more filet and less ribeye because of the fat percentage.
You have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about
exactly.
that. So I'll eat all the ribeyes, and you can have the fillets.
Yeah.
Any other sponsors that you need to mention? I'll let you plug whoever you would like to plug.
Dang, I can't even think about it. This is going to be a bad look. I can't think about it.
No, that's okay. We'll let you get it in. Sam's back in the studio. He's got a question for you.
Yeah, John, I'm just curious, and I know you gave up socials, but I'm sure you've seen the Baker Mayfield comparisons. Do you like that comparison to Baker? And I guess I would ask you, who would you compare your game to, and who do you like to watch, and who do you pattern your game after?
I mean, I didn't give it up that early. I saw all those comparisons. But no, it's an honor to be compared to him. And he's obviously super good. I wouldn't say I'm exactly like him. He won the Heisman. He did a bunch of good things here at OU. So to be like him would be great. I wouldn't say we play the same way. And I don't really try to emulate exactly what one person does. But I like to take things from different people. I love Tom Brady. Of course, he's still the GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
And how he just processes the game. And I got to spend time with Peyton Manning at the Manning Passing Academy, him and Eli, and they're just geniuses, and John Gruden, he's not a quarterback, but he just gave us gold.
Quarterback coach.
Yeah, they were just giving us gold, and that's huge. And just learning that stuff, I know I'm getting on a tangent, and then Rodgers, I love the way Rodgers throws the ball. If I could just have a percentage of the way the ball pops off his hand, it would be great. And I'm trying to get there every day, his accuracy and his quick release is awesome. And then as I've grown up, I thought I was too slow the first 2 years of high school. I was just slow. I wasn't athletic. I was still young.
Right.
So then Vic and Lamar Jackson, I started watching their tape. And I don't run like them, but I would love to run like them.
Yeah, no doubt. I think everybody would.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's awesome. I think that tell me a little bit more about the Manning camp. That had to be such a cool
experience.
It was
awesome. I mean, and it was cool for me because I'd known about who these kids were since freshman year of high school because I'm all in on this is what I wanted to do forever, and I'm here now. It's great. It's a blessing. But I got to meet these guys that I've heard about since I was 14. So it's kind of surreal. And then they're don't meet your superheroes. But I got to go there and throw with them, and it was great. I'm right there with them.
Yeah.
But then building relationships. I mean, that's what it's about. It's not about throwing and trying to be better than them. I mean, it always is a little bit, but it's about the relationships. And now pregame, I'll go up and I'll talk to them, see how they're doing. And last year I didn't have that. I didn't know anyone, and that's great. And then you just learn so much.
Yeah.
I met a bunch of people. It was awesome.
That's fantastic. I think they're probably telling you got to get the heck out of here. Always, if they're telling you the Baker is a compliment, I get it.
Yeah.
I've been around you a little bit. I know. I mean, it's an attitude and it's a confidence.
Right.
I think you probably outrun him on the field, but anyway,
he's pretty good.
Yeah, he can do a little bit of things out there. So, John, good to see you, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck. Have a good day today.
Thank you.
Safe
You
trip
too.
back. That's John Napier, quarterback for OU this year, and see why everybody is really excited about the OU offense this year. I mean, I can't wait to see what it's going to look like. Sam, you there?
Without a doubt. I'm sorry. I thought you were about to have someone else on. No, I was just
no.
laying off there. No, how awesome is he? He just seems like a down-to-earth guy, and I've watched a lot of his highlights, and he can obviously run. I think at times early in his career, made some highlight plays, but last year he really showed that he has the quick decision-making, and I think he's going to be a fan favorite here in Norman. I really do.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that was impressive. I talk a little bit more about how going through studying the art of playing that position with all those guys that he mentioned and that type of stuff. So, I mean, that was impressive. Okay, we're going to keep the guests coming here. We got my man Terry Ford coming on from South Carolina in Columbia, 107.5.
How you doing, man?
What's going on? How are you?
Okay, I get free food, free coffee, free tea.
Hey, the food here has been better than the food that I've eaten outside of here, which it shouldn't be that way.
It should not be that way.
No, it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah, well, I'll say there was a place they had us go to last night that was free for the media.
Well, how did I miss that?
No one told you this?
No, I didn't. Nobody
You missed the free stuff. Well, the good news, the sliders were good. Bad news, there was something there that was unrecognizable. I don't know. I think it was a hot dog.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was.
I wouldn't eat it.
I stayed away from it.
I wouldn't have eaten that.
No.
So I've eaten at two places here that were supposed to be really good, that were very highly acclaimed. Neither one of them were any good.
Really?
So I'm going on the way to the airport. I'm going to Magic City.
There you go.
So I'm going to have some of those lemon pepper wings today.
You might as well do it. You know what I did see? I saw a milkshake place right down, walk down from here to the left.
Yeah.
It's like they specialize in nothing but milkshakes.
I don't think I can do milkshake, wings, not at the same time. I have to choose one or the other.
I am confident that you can pull this off today.
I don't know.
35,000 feet in the air, too. If it doesn't work out, there's trouble.
Yeah, you're right. And there's weather out there, so I don't have to worry about that. I'm fired up about coming to South Carolina. I'm going to make a point to get to that game, and I was a little disappointed that it wasn't a night game.
I know.
But that probably works out a little better for OU that it's not a night game. So tell me about the environment at Williams-Brice Stadium.
A night game at Willie B is a thing.
Uh-huh.
Now, I've been to sporting events like you. I've been places all over the country, college. And when they told me about Williams-Brice, a night game, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Just the home people being homers, right? But no, it's a thing, man. It gets cooking. They do 2001. They've got Sandstorm going. They bring out a train with the mascot and bring out ex-players, jump out of this, and the place just explodes. It is Willie B at Night's one of the most underrated venues in the country for a college football game.
Well, the Gamecocks were very rude visitors to OU last year. I've been in many games in that stadium, and I was sitting there. I'm going, okay. Is it going to be 50-0? And in the second quarter, I mean, it was a turnover. And I mean, so was that the best version of South Carolina? They did some other really good things last year. I mean,
you caught, you know how timing is everything in life, Mark.
Yeah.
You caught them at the bad time because South Carolina had that defense was good all year, but it was a bad matchup. I mean, you guys had those offensive line issues with the injuries, and South Carolina's pass rush was phenomenal last year. And you just had a bad matchup, and again, that defense suffocated you, forced the turnovers, young quarterbacks, and that defense was that good the rest of the year. They played really well. Kennard wins the Nagurski, obviously the one edge. Dylan Stewart, the kid was a freshman last year. He's looked at one of the best edge pass rushers in America. So you guys it's that bad timing thing in life you hit last year.
Dylan Stewart, there's a picture of him in this Lindy's. He looks like, he was from another planet. I mean, it's just freakish built.
Yes. And you might get 10 words out of him. Well, we got 10 between him and Lenora Sellers. I think we got 20 words combined all year. They're very soft-spoken guys. They're not they're not ego dudes. They're not about them. They just go about their business. They answer the questions, but they're not about the back of the jersey. Neither one of them.
Everyone still loves Shane Beamer.
Well, after last year, they do.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little rocky after that 5-7 2 years ago,
Right.
where they missed a bowl game for the first time, and there was some stuff there where people were kind of you know how it goes year to year, Mark.
Sure.
You know how this is in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
So after 5-7, there were people going, well, I don't know about that, but after last year, they're all loving Shane again.
Yeah, I think so. To me, I don't think people are talking enough about this team. Now they did. There was a lot of attrition from the defense, lost players to the NFL,
Yep.
but still have some good players to build around on that side of the ball. And I mean, offense is going to have to sprinkle some pieces in, but you've got at least players to build from.
The biggest thing is, everybody, obviously Lenore Sellers is front and center, right? Dylan Stewart's front and center. But to me, it's what happens with the rest of the team, especially like the line of scrimmage. Like you said, they lost a lot of dudes to the NFL. And the offensive line has been kind of, inconsistent over the last few years. It got better at the end of last season when the Gamecocks went on that win streak and pulled 6 straight. But the line of scrimmage is what's going to happen with South Carolina. If they can, like you said, have guys step up on both sides of the ball to replace the losses, they're going to be a good football team. But if they struggle with that, then who knows? Who knows?
South Carolina have a rival in the league. I mean, they're trying to make the Columbias a deal. Tennessee, I'm sure you want to beat everybody, but is there one game that other than Clemson?
In the league, it's like, and you said it's almost like you try to find one. I mean, for South Carolina, every year they played Tennessee and Georgia, right? But Tennessee and Georgia don't look at South Carolina as their main rival.
Mm-hmm.
And so, that Columbia thing. I mean, does Missouri, even though they're in the SEC half the time, Mark?
Probably not. And they try to make a rival out of for OU out of Missouri, and it's been interesting that Eli Drinkwitz was kind of stoking the. I mean, OU and Missouri played for 100 years. OU beaten them probably 110 times in 100 years, but Missouri won last season. So, I don't. Missouri is kind of an outlier there.
Yeah, I don't think South Carolina really has a rival right now. It kind of happens in spurts. Like the last few years, Kentucky had a thing with South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
There was a little thing there going with Kentucky and South Carolina, but Gamecocks have gotten them twice in a row now. South Carolina had an Eli Drinkwitz problem. Drinkwitz came in there with Appalachian State and beat South Carolina one year, and then had beaten them every time with Missouri. Finally got that off their back last year by beating Missouri at Williams-Brice. To answer the question, not really. Not a consistent, okay, let's break out the hate this week for somebody.
Right.
That's all reserved for Clemson.
Yeah. You start winning games in the SEC, and then it becomes a rivalry there.
Well, let me ask you, I was looking at Phil Steele's yearbook, right?
Yeah.
He's put Oklahoma in the college football playoff. How you guys feeling after what happened last year with all there's a lot of love going to Norman from a lot of folks after the offseason, which was very good on paper.
He's been pretty high on OU in the past, but for me, I want to see somebody catch the ball. I want to see somebody block because I'm a big believer in the quarterback. I think Napier is really good, and I think Arbuckle is 29 years old, 30 years old. Super young, but I think that he's got a system that he really believes in.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's a good combination, but they're going to have to be pretty good. I also think that the schedule that OU faces was a little bit more tough last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ole Miss was better last year. I think Missouri was better last year. And maybe South Carolina's about the same. I mean, they've got, I think, more reason to be optimistic. Texas is going to be the big deal. I mean, OU got crushed in that game last year.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Texas has some really, really good football players, especially on defense.
Yeah, I mean, I won't lie to you. When they hired Sarkisian, I was like, really?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was okay at UW. He was okay at Southern Cal. I know you go to get rehab with Nick. Everybody goes to the Nick Rehab Center to rehab their coaching career. But I didn't see this coming from Sark. I think Texas is a job. You have to have a certain personality as a head coach because it's said, you guys have been fighting them forever. Mm-hmm. That place is nuts. There's 500 cooks in the kitchen all tell you how to coach the team and what to do and everything. Right. And I didn't think Stark had the mindset to deal with those, but look what they've done. And the sad part is Oklahoma has been such the better program for so long. And now when you come into the SEC, now Texas pops.
I know. That's kind of hard to accept if you're an Oklahoma fan. I mean, if you go back to 2000, I mean, OU's had by far the better of that series.
Not even close.
Right. But Texas is in good shape right now. I really think it has a lot to do with his staff. I mean, he went out and hired a great staff.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, they built their offensive line. They have that system that they've put in place that it helps. Even though they lose picks, they have guys coming in. Kwiatkowski, the defensive coordinator, they're recruiting well. And Oklahoma kind of out-evaluated Texas for a long period of time. Yep. They didn't ever take a step back when it came to signing 4- and 5-star players. Right. They just didn't have the evaluation, but that's all changed.
How you feel about Venables?
I think it's a huge year for him. I'm a little concerned about him trying to call the defense and orchestrate the entire program. I think OU made a great move in hiring a general manager who's here today, Jim Naggie, who's widely thought of throughout college football. So that won't pay dividends necessarily on Saturdays this year, but I think it will going forward in the future. But it's a big year, they want Brent to succeed. Everybody likes him.
Right.
They don't want to have to buy him out of a contract, and so they don't want to fire him. At some places, you like at Auburn, if Hugh Freeze has a bad year, they're gonna send him on the first thing smoking. It's a different deal with Brent. So I mean, I think he's got a little leeway there, and rather than just saying, okay, you got to win 8 games or he's fired.
I think you bring up a great point, and I talk about this a lot. A new head coach who is a guru on one side of the ball or the other. Oh, I'm going to run my defense, or I'm going to run my offense. Well, no, your job is to run the team now.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes them a minute to go, I'm the head coach first, I'm the coordinator second. But some guys can't get that scrambled out of their head, and it really affects them.
You have to I think that's what coaching is about. You have to trust people. I mean, you're going to have to trust people that you hire to do their jobs. And so I think that's been a little bit of an issue for him. So, hey, it's great. See you. Thanks for your help this week.
No, hey, like I say, anytime we can help you out, man.
Okay. I am definitely, we will plan some festivities that week of the OU game. What's it September?
No, not September.
I have to look at the
blanking
schedule
off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's
October 18th.
October 18th?
Wow.
Yes.
That's a week after OU Texas.
That is correct, I think.
Good
Yes.
stuff.
That's
I'll
right.
still be hungover by the time I get there.
Well, man, we'll have some fun and do some stuff that week.
Thanks, Jerry. We will.
Hey, man, appreciate you.
We'll build up the coverage for that.
You have a good one now.
All right, Sam, let's take a quick timeout. We'll come back. We're going to have Jim Naggie coming up here in just a few minutes, and you're watching SEC Media Day coverage right here from Atlanta. Stay tuned.
The American.
Thank you.
normally at 20, so now you can have a longer segment this segment.
We've been keeping your homes and businesses flowing smoothly.
And see why Roto-Rooter is the
everything you can.
Bag of Takis Fuego chip.
Tasty lunch.
Membership. Make your deposit now to save your seat for the 2025-26 season. Go to OKCThunder.com/activate.
Welcome back. Middle of the day show from SEC Media Days. This is flying by today. I don't know if it's flying by for you. It's flying by.
Absolutely.
I got to try to get Jim Naggie on, and I ran into the Sooner Scoop boys. They are waiting on him. And they've got us blocked off. So I think they're probably first in line. But, everybody has talked about how impressive they believe that this hire has been for OU, what a kind of outside-the-box genius move it was, because he's got relationships with all these people in the sport from running the Senior Bowl. So he kind of has to stop everywhere. So it's really kind of a brilliant move of bringing him. I did hear that the Brent Venables had a little media scrum happen while we were on the air. There was no cameras there, and so heard that went well. He is going to step up to the podium here, and he will be available at 1:45. So that's coming up in about 20 minutes. We will take as much of that as possible. If we don't hear from Jim Naggie, we'll try to put something on tape that we can do tomorrow. Also,
go ahead.
Ian Fitzsimmons interview that we had, which I thought was really good. It was, I think he does a great job covering the SEC. That is on the website or the podcast. You can listen to that if you did not get to hear it in its entirety. We had a glitch.
We did have a glitch. Would you like to hear anything from either Billy Napier or Jeff Lebby?
I'd like to hear a little bit from Jeff Lebby. Let's hear some
Let me
Jeff
pull
Lebby.
some Jeff Lebby up here for you.
I was hoping to
One
talk
second.
to him and try to make that happen, but they were here this morning around 7:45 or 8 o'clock doing some of the digital
Okay, I got
drive, and I was busy looking at the back of several bumpers at that time, trying to get down here. It was not optimal. Yeah, okay, here it is.
Our current roster and our football team. And you think about the transformation. 80% of our players on our roster right now, they're guys that are in their first or second year of being inside the program. You think about 60 new players since January 1, 43 mid-years, and then having the ability to sign 5 old linemen, a couple of tight ends, and then a couple others on the defensive side of the ball in the spring portal. And so I look back and I think about where we are today, and I think about how we've created some momentum inside of our building by signing, a really good high school class, by signing a really good portal class and addressing the needs that we had to address to change the outcome this fall. And that's all we've talked about is our plan and our process to change the outcome. I think about all the new guys that are part of our football team and part of our roster, and the thing that excites me the most is their consistency, their buy-in. Inside our walls right now, we've got great belief, we got great hope, we've got great energy. Our guys are incredibly intent on getting better and changing the outcome this fall, and everything for us points to August 30th. As we move forward, we think about our fall camp, how we change the outcome. We change the outcome by the way we practice and how we do what we do. So as we get into fall camp, one of the things that was huge for us was us being able to practice the way we need to. There was a ton of conversation about that in the off season, and changing both lines of scrimmage, changing the second level on the defensive side of the football. Now, with that, Coach Hutzler's done an unbelievable job on the defensive side, creating that belief and that buy-in, while we've done an unbelievable job, in my opinion, of supplementing the staff. Having the ability to go hire 3 former head coaches, 2 former head coaches at the Power 4 level, and Coach Rhodes and Coach Mack. Both those guys being SEC defensive coordinators along their way at different stops, and having this great amount of experience to be able to help in the room. And so excited about that. Vincent Dancy, coaching our defensive ends and our outside linebackers, comes to us from Colorado, has added great experience inside of the room, as he was a former head coach as well. And from our state, being able to bring him back home. On the offensive side of the ball, the only change and the only addition has been Phil Lodehold. Our offensive line coach comes to us from Colorado, did an unbelievable job with our guys in the spring. And then obviously in the spring portal class, Phil and I were together. He was with me for 6 years prior, before he was at Colorado last year, and then got him back with me at the 1st of January. When I think about our players, I think about our locker room. The 3 guys that I've picked to come with me today are 3 guys that, man, they are all about what we want. And these are guys that have had great leadership ability. They come from completely different backgrounds, completely different stories. And I mentioned it, but 80% of our players are in year 1 or year 2 of our program. Blake Shapen, our starting quarterback, comes with me today, a guy that went through it last year, gets hurt week 4. To me, it shows a lot about Blake and who he is, with the way he handled the situation last year and how he mentored the young people inside the building. For him being year 2 in the system, being year 2 with me, could not be more excited about him leading the charge on the offensive side of the football. So him year 2 in the program. Brennan Thompson, year 1, comes to us. And to me, Brennan's here with me today because this is a young man that I do. I want to make sure all of our guys inside our locker room understand that transfers, if they can operate as Brennan Thompson operates on a daily level, they're going to set themselves up to have great success. Brennan is a guy that is about the right stuff. He shows up every single day with great intent. He's an incredible teammate. As much as he works, he teaches too. And so all these young guys in the receiver room right now have really taken to him, his leadership, and how he's operated since he's been inside the building in January.
All right, that's Jeff Lebby. And he mentioned Phil Lodehold, who is, I think, very highly regarded
as an up-and-coming offensive line coach. Has done a great job, and I think that's a pretty good coup for him. So you've heard what Cale has had to say about Jeff Lebby, that he is one of the smarter, from a perspective of running an offense, from knowing every position, one of the smarter guys out there when it comes to offensive football. Man, he's going to need some smoke and mirrors, I think, this year with Mississippi State team. So it's a group that I think is a little bit better, will be better than they were a year ago, and we'll see if that's going to translate to any wins. They played well in the Egg Bowl. They played, fairly close against Ole Miss, but have to look back and see, some of those games. You don't want to begin your career going a year or multiple years without a victory in the conference. All right. Let's hear from Billy Napier, who is Billy Napier, may be the coach that spent the most time up here on the second level in Digital Drive that I've seen. So he's been walking around here quite a bit today, but here is some of the highlights from him at the podium earlier.
75, and we would watch the semifinals in the old Georgia Dome. And I'm riding through Atlanta today. Used to stop at the Varsity and get something to eat on the way. I can remember sitting up in the upper deck with all those high school coaches watching high school football in this state. It's good to be at SEC Media Day. We're 45 days away from the opener. Football is right around the corner. Everybody's undefeated, and there's a lot of potential to talk about. And it's a blessing for me to be here today to represent our football team. Really, really special group of players, our staff and our organization from top to bottom. The University of Florida is a very special place. It's arguably the top public school in the entire country. Incredible network of people. We're approaching 500,000 living alumni.
Okay, sounds good.
And we pair that elite education with a championship culture in our athletic department. 49 national championships, 269 SEC titles. And I would tell you, this spring was one of my all-time great sport experiences, going to the Final Four. If you haven't been, you need to go. I had the privilege of taking my two sons to San Antonio, Alamo Dome, to watch Coach Golden and his team compete and win the national championship. To just be a fan, to rub elbows with Gator Nation. Our fans, their passion is second to none. It was an incredible experience. You think about how this place has affected so many people, the tradition, the history. There's so much pride that comes with that. Whether you're alumni or you grew up a Gator, that's something I'll never forget. I'm extremely thankful for Scott Strickland, our athletic director. His leadership, his discernment. I think he's a forward thinker, and he's done a great job of providing a vision for our athletic department and putting our sports teams in position to win championships. How do you sum up the SEC? And I think for me, as a competitor, you want to play against the best, the very best. And there's an old saying, to be the best, you got to beat the best. And I think we get that opportunity competing in this league. I think about this league, I think about the history, the tradition, the venues, going on the road to play in this league, the rivalries, the great players and great coaches, the level of investment by the administrations, the depth that's required to play week in and week out in this league. I think the personnel is different in this league. I think there's diversity of scheme. And don't forget about the recruiting gauntlet that we go through in this league. This Netflix documentary is called Any Given Saturday for a reason, and you got to be ready to go every week.
Okay.
For the third straight year, it's the most watched conference football, 19 years in a row, the most draft. This past draft had 79 draft picks, which shattered the record of 65, which was a previous record for the SEC. You know, I think our league has great leadership. I'm very thankful for Greg Sankey. I can't compliment him enough, what he's done for our league, but more importantly, the work that he's doing for college football and really the game of football in general. I think he stepped up in a very pivotal moment for college athletics. And this is a tough job and a very demanding time. So I'm thankful for the job he's done. We also have a great group in Birmingham at the SEC office that contributes. There's a long list of folks behind the scenes. We're better because of their hard work, and I'm thankful for that. You know, I'm excited about the players that are here to represent our team today. Jake Slaughter is here. Jake is an All-American and an All-SEC player. He was voted team captain by his teammates last year, and he very much lives it out. You know, he's a guy that sets the tone every day. He's a pace setter. And he's a great football player, but he's an even better person and leader.
free exam, and free consultation.
Okay, so not quite ready yet.
Is saying that the Big Ten is standing their ground. They will not back off the college football playoff format in which they get automatic qualifiers for, unless the SEC decides to add a ninth conference game. I don't think the SEC's added a ninth conference game, so that is very, very bad news for the playoff expansion. Don't know that we're going to get to 16 teams.
I mean, I totally agree with what Lane Kiffin said on this, right? Basically saying no other conference would trade with the SEC teams, and basically say that, having 9 games in a different conference is still easier than having 8 games in the SEC.
I think that there are more weeks off. There's some spots in the schedule in the okay, let's just do this. Let's break it down for a second and look at the bottom of each league.
Okay.
If you look at the bottom of each league, Mississippi State, they didn't win a game last year. After that, who's the next easiest team?
Kentucky?
I mean, that's probably right. Where would Kentucky finish in the Big Ten? I don't think they finished very high, to be honest.
But I mean, if we're talking about the playoffs, shouldn't we be talking about the top of the conference and how good the middle of the conference is? The teams that actually have a chance to make the playoff.
I mean, that's a wash at the top of the conference.
I mean, at the very, very top, yeah, of course. But I mean, it drops off significantly.
Top 4. I think top 4 easily. I mean, if you're in the Big Ten, you can say, okay, we got Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, and Oregon. Okay, that matches up with the very top of the SEC, 4 deep.
Sure, but what I'm saying is teams like LSU, Florida, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Oklahoma are much better than, and I'll even throw Auburn in there historically, are much better than the Illinois, Indiana, Nebraska's, USC. I mean, USC is better than they have been normally. But,
USC
Iowa, Minnesota, obviously the middle of the SEC is much stronger than the middle of the Big Ten.
I think when you start talking about the strength of the league, it starts to
sway towards the SEC around the 6-7 spot, like from 6-7 to 14. The SEC's a
Venables
little
is going to the podium
bit
now.
You say Brent's at the podium?
He's going to the podium now. Yes.
Okay. Anyway, we'll talk more about that coming up here in a little bit. Here's Brent Venables.
Stadium stairs in the 100-degree Oklahoma temperatures, which is not too bad for a 54-year-old guy running those stairs. He and his wife Julie have 4 children, sons Jake and Tyler, and daughters Lainey and Addie. Welcome to the stage, the head coach, the University of Oklahoma, Brent Venables.
All right, good afternoon. Thank you, Commissioner Sankey. Appreciate everybody being here today. And I think maybe I got y'all in a vulnerable position being day 3 and being the last one to speak to y'all today. So I got you right where I want you. I do want to take the opportunity to thank Commissioner Sankey for his strong leadership, clear vision, and arguably, maybe what might be the most disruptive time in college football history. He's guided us with a very unique lens and a tremendous wisdom. And I would also be remiss if I didn't mention and thank William King, his co-chairman. He's been a great help to all of us head coaches over the last couple of years and helping us navigate a lot of choppy waters. As a little over a week ago, I got a phone call from my boss and great friend, Joe Castiglione, sharing his news of retirement with me. Happened to be out of town at the time, and so I wasn't able to go to his press conference a day or so after he made the initial announcement. And so as I begin today, I'd like to just publicly both congratulate and thank Joe and his lovely wife, Kristen, for 28 years of impeccable leadership that he's provided so many, the love, the passion, the sacrifice, and the dedication to the entire University of Oklahoma community and the city of Norman. I've always said that you have a life that matters when you matter to other people. And Joe, you certainly have mattered. You truly have impacted and enriched countless thousands of lives over a broad spectrum over the last 3 decades. And that's truly what matters. That's what we all aspire to do, is to impact other people. And he certainly has done that. And he's also helped, as we know, many athletic programs to unprecedented historical success over, again, every sport that you can imagine. And he's done it all with maintaining a moral compass, pure motives, and a genuine love and appreciation for people. Joe's had a Hall of Fame career. I think that goes today, but I believe that has happened and transpired because of his unwavering commitment and dedication to winning at the highest level, but doing it the right way. And he's also probably, maybe his why, I don't want to speak for him, but far beyond supporting the coaches and all the sports that he's helped lead over decades, he's also his focus has been on equipping and empowering student athletes through their athletic journey, and never losing sight, in my opinion, of him keeping the main thing. So a big salute and gratitude to Joe and Kristen. We truly do love and appreciate you in every way. Look forward to seeing you soon. I'm excited to be here. And for all of us, I think everybody in here, I don't want to speak for everyone, but that are truly in love and grateful for the great game of football. I think it's the greatest game on the planet. And we're 45 days from kickoff. And like y'all don't already know that. And but I'm thankful in every way you can imagine to be the head football coach at the University of Oklahoma and a head coach in the best, in my opinion, top to bottom conference in all of college football. And it's, as we know, it is a landscape that is constantly changing, and the challenges that are a byproduct of that. I'm also blessed to be supported by a strong board of regents led by Anita Holloway and co-chairman Rick Nagel, their leadership, along with our chairman of football, Randall Stevenson, and who I believe is the best president in all of college football, Joe Harris. The tireless collective work and collaboration have put our program in an incredibly strong position as we progress towards a new modernized version of college football as we know it. In my opinion, there's not a better profession on this planet or a more influential profession than being a football coach. I'm a living, breathing testament, an example of how a locker room can save and transform and change the trajectory of a young man's life. I believe the game has never been better or more important than it is today. The life lessons learned through the locker room are all well known. But perhaps the greatest lesson, in my opinion, is in a world that will divide, the game of football is something that unifies. And so I'm just blessed beyond measure to be a small part of that and being impacted in every way. I brought three guys with me today. If you don't know them yet, you'll learn about the three players that have come with us. All three exemplify everything good about college football in our program. These are guys that are highly competitive in the classroom. They lead from a place of passion and a love for the game, and I believe they have elite leadership as well. All three of the young men will be incredibly important parts of our success this fall, and are indicative of the type of young men that we have in our locker room. All three were to some degree afterthoughts or undervalued, under-recruited players. And I love that about the game. I've been an underdog my whole life, and I love pulling for guys like this, but they also are reflective of what the game of football at this level is all about. It's about development in every part of their life. And R. Mason Thomas, a defensive end that we have, a senior from Cardinal Gibbons High School down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and Robert Spears Jennings, a safety from Broken Arrow High School. These guys are two of the 13 players on our current roster that are entering their fourth year part of all of our first recruiting class. And when R. Mason showed up, he was 212 pounds soaking wet. Now he's over 250 pounds. He's one of the most fiercest and explosive pass rushers in all of college football. He's all SEC a year ago, had 9 sacks, and all of his best days are in front of him. But he, along with the other two guys that I'm going to introduce, are also these are guys that are highly invested in our locker room. They lead from the front. These are guys that, are unbreakable in every possible way, and just really proud to have these guys represented today. Robert Spears Jennings, he played both ways coming out of high school, moves to safety as a freshman. Didn't play a whole lot like a lot of young players and need to transition and learn and grow. But he's become one of the fiercest, fastest, most explosive, instinctive safeties in all of the country. He was second on our team last year in tackles with 66, forced 4 fumbles, which I think is one of the tops in the country. Be a December grad along with R. Mason as well. And also RJ was a all academic, all SEC performer as well. Just chasing excellence is what he's always represented. And then John Napier. As I've said a few times already here today, just tremendous capacity. Every day John is wide open. He's a guy that deeply cares. He's a guy, along with the other two players that are part of the 2025 version of the Oklahoma Sooners, and turned down more money to go elsewhere because of the belief and the vision of the program. Certainly a connection to Coach Arbuckle, but this is a guy that wants to win at the highest level. He's a connector. He's a guy that leads from the front. He's as he plays the game, he looks like he's in fast forward a lot of times, but a great competitor, super athletic, throws the ball really well on the run, makes a lot of good decisions, very self-deprecating and likes to have fun, can laugh at himself. He's handles those tough moments. They're a part of every day. You go to the practice field and going against the type of guys he's going against every day, he's going to have some tough moments, and he handles it all. He's got the right questions to ask and takes responsibility and lays it on the line each and every day. And also as through 3 years in college up to this point, he's a 3.5 GPA, had all academic honors in the league that he's coming from as well. So I'm really excited about those guys, and I chose those three. They have positioned themselves through a body of work to be heard and influence and impact their teammates in the simplest way. I've said that the most important thing that every player in the locker room should covet is the respect and the trust of their teammates, and they certainly done exactly that. And they show up every day with something on the line, and that's what I love about these guys. Y'all going to enjoy them as you get a chance to interview them here today. We've had a lot of changes since January. Probably, I'm sure that most coaches stood up here and talked about a lot of changes. That's the environment that we're in today, between portal, recruiting, new coaches, a new offense, a new GM structure. But we've also had tremendous retention, which foundationally for me is what it's all about. The continuity, guys are returning with experience and are highly invested in the locker room, and they're attracted to the vision of the program. That's incredibly important to me. But no doubt, we've improved our roster.
How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
You're in high demand around here. Everybody knows you. I mean, from working at the Senior Bowl, I mean, you're stopping every place.
Yeah, I mean, I was here for 7 years, and I stayed all 4 days, so it wasn't like this is nice. It's an in and out in a day. So yeah, I do. I know a lot of people. A lot of people were really good to us when I was at the Senior Bowl. So yeah, this is kind of fun. Seeing a lot of familiar faces.
Is Atlanta the best place to have this?
I think Nashville is.
Okay, I'm going to go with that too.
Just because I'm more of a Nashville guy. But and then I did like it when it was in Hoover because it was an easy drive for me back then. But if I were making the call, if I were Commissioner Sankey, I would keep it in Nashville every year.
I second that. Nashville's a little easier to get around. I'm not staying here, so traffic has been a little bit of an issue from time to time. But I'm learning. I mean, we'll get this figured out before
too long. What's your summer been like?
It was good. We just came back off a break. I had a vacation with my family, which was much needed. I've been going pretty hard since December. We start, kind of ramping up for Senior Bowl pretty hard in December, and then kind of rolled right into all the OU stuff in the transition. So yeah, it was great. And then I got my wife and daughter and dog out to Norman finally on Sunday.
Good,
so it took
good.
about 4 months, but they're finally, so now it feels real. Waking up in a house with your family is a lot different than just waking up by yourself and going into the office. So
that's outstanding.
Yeah.
How is the court's decision, now that universities can pay athletes direct, how does that affect managing the roster from a high school recruiting perspective to a portal recruiting perspective?
I think with the rev share, it makes it easier because it's direct to university money. I think where it gets murky is, especially in recruiting, when you're not supposed to, add any NIL money into the offers,
right,
because it's not guaranteed. You got to get the deal first, and now the deal has to pass through, Deloitte. If we're doing this thing above board, it's supposed to be the rev share number only. I don't know if everyone's operating that way or not.
Well,
but,
Lane Kiffin's is saying the same kind of things, right? I mean, how big a concern is that? Because I assume University of Oklahoma is doing things the right way.
Yeah,
right?
It's a concern because you want a level playing field.
Right.
I think everyone does. That's why the NFL has had such success, for the entirety of the league, is that all those owners have always been on the same page. That's why Green Bay can exist in the same market as 2 LA teams and 2 New York teams, right? Buffalo, Green Bay. So ideally, we're all operating on a level playing field. So, we're there. Who knows where this thing's going to land? I heard, Commissioner Sankey say something that, I think there's just a lot of negative talk around college football. I think it's great, man. This thing's going to settle in a good spot. When I say we, like Oklahoma, we're going to be prepared wherever it is, and that's but like right now, as we're trying to get through the murky waters, it's not always easy, but hopefully it lands in a place where there's real competitive balance, level playing field.
Now, this is a hypothetical question, but I mean, just say if you're trying to dissuade people from cheating or going outside that and adding extra NIL, I mean, these few years of Wild Wild West has tapped a lot of people. I mean, you must have to have pretty much unlimited resources to just want to keep churning that, because I'm sure the university is going to be out there actively asking its donors to help fund the athletic department.
Sure, and I think that's a big, and that's not talked about a lot. I think you touch on a really interesting point. Again, in my old role, my old job, our chairman was a big booster at the University of Alabama, and it's different. Like the same donor sources are being tapped for all these different sports, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now that there's a lot of reasons why college sports has to land in a better place than what it's been the last couple of years. I mean, the money, the unkept market has been. I'm really glad college players are getting paid. I use this analogy on another show I was on. I was at Michigan during the Fab 5 years, and if you've seen that Fab 5 doc on ESPN, the 30 for 30, Chris Webber talks about I didn't have money to take girls out on dates. Yet you walk around the state of Michigan, there was Chris Webber jerseys everywhere. So it's great they're getting paid, but there needs to be some more uniformity, I would say. If we really want to love college football the way it's always been loved, you can't have some teams spending X amount, way above and beyond everybody else. It's just, I don't think it's good for the sport.
Have they put together a staff that you like? Have you been able to do that?
Yeah, that's the biggest reason I'm fired up about where we're at. You always go into, building something and you've got guys that I really want to get this guy, And I didn't target friends. I've had a lot of friends get jobs similar to mine, and they've just targeted their buddies. And I didn't go about it that way. I just tried to find guys that had a certain skill set and real competency. And so that's why I'm really fired up about our staff. I mean, I had my blind spots on the college side. That's why we went out and targeted certain guys, so we've got over 60 years on the college side experience. We got over 60 years in the NFL. So I really think the group complements each other really well, not just on the evaluation side, but also recruiting, because I think our staff can add a level of recruiting expertise and relationship building on top of the coaches. Our coaches do an incredible job of that. Starting with Coach Venables. But when you've got a guy like, let's say, Lake Dawson, who has been in the National Football League for the last 30 years, and he can sit down with a wide receiver's parents and talk about his experience. So I think there's some really the integration between the two staffs. I can't wait to get back because that's really going to start happening when we get back.
Have you had any chance to see workouts?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want your professional scouting opinion on what you see from this roster this year and some of the high points.
Really good work, man. I'll say this, like the guys are working at a really high level, a lot of leadership. Again, it was really cool flying in here with Spears Jennings and Nar Mason and John Napier. There is really good leadership on this football team right now. They're really connected. They're working really hard. Again, I see all the GPS stuff every day and all the outputs and everything. They're working these guys really hard. But, I think the team's in a great place. I really do. I think, injury-wise, we're, healthy right now going into fall camp, which is where we want to be. And I'm really we just got to get the pads on, man. We got to start banging a little bit.
Hopefully it will get here sooner than it seems, just 40-some days right now. Tell me about Jaden Ott. What did you like with him?
Yeah, just a game breaker. Really dynamic skill set. I've said it, time and time again. My role at the Senior Bowl, I went up to see him play. Cal played at Auburn last year, and I went up to see that game and talked to a couple of friends on the Cal staff, and they're like, "Yeah, Jaden's not right. He's got a high ankle sprain." Well, that thing lingered the whole season. So had he been healthy, he would have been in last April's draft, and he would have been a top 50 to 75 draft pick. So to get a guy that can score from anywhere on the field on all three downs, when I knew that was an opportunity, we had to be aggressive for it, and thank goodness we got him. And that doesn't mean that we're not fired up about other guys in that running back room like that. I think that might be, from top to bottom, maybe our deepest room. So, but when you got a chance to add a guy that can do special things in the SEC and be a playmaker on all three downs, you got to do it.
How much of your staff is focused on evaluating what's going on in college football? I mean, you got to be ready when a guy enters the portal to have a scout on him because things happen so fast. A guy might go to one campus and then say, well, I mean, I'm not ready to sign here. Or if you lose him and he leaves, you might not get him back. So
no doubt. No, we're good. We've got, a lot of human resources put into the college side. And again, that's a lot of our wheelhouse too. The guys that are coming from the NFL, just used to watching the college tape. So there's going to be a real focus there. I do think this has the chance to be maybe the most disruptive offseason in college football because teams are going to have to get under the cap. You've got some teams that have spent double of what the cap looks like it's going to be, 15, 16. There's teams out there that have spent in the $30 million range. Mm-hmm. And if you're trying to get under that and you're calling players in after the year and they're having to take pay cuts, let's face it, nobody likes to get their pay cut.
Right.
And so you're going to have a lot of players that aren't going to be happy and they're going to be emotional about it and their families are going to be emotional about it. So I think the easy thing is, well, let's just jump in the portal. So I think it's going to be a really, really active portal season. So yeah, we'll be ready. We'll be that same staff, all our guys working on the college side will be doing game advances every week to help out our coaching staff, like detailed player analysis, not just what they do scheme wise, but if if we're scouting Michigan's defense, we're going to have this thing where our offensive linemen are going to have detailed scouting reports on each guy on the Michigan defensive line. So they're going to know what pass rush moves they like to use. So that staff is going to be really valuable.
Yeah.
Those guys on that staff.
Where are you planning on being on Saturday? You going to be in the box? You going to be on the sidelines? You going to be somewhere else? I mean,
I don't plan on being in the box, but Brent and I haven't even discussed that yet, to be quite honest. But no, If he wants me in the box, I'll be in the box. If he sees value in me being in the box, I'll be in the box. But no, I haven't even thought that far ahead.
They've been trying to get a new press box up there. You don't want to be in that place. I mean, it's way up there. It's not ideal at all. So
is it hot? Is it air conditioned?
Yeah, it's air conditioned.
Okay.
It's air conditioned. I mean, there's probably worse places, but it's old. I mean, it's definitely old. So I spent plenty of time up there. But I love the sideline. You get the feel of everything.
Yeah, the thing I don't love about press boxes is when they're closed off,
right?
Because then you don't feel it. Then you don't feel the crowd noise and everything. But yeah, I haven't even thought that far ahead. I know I want to be down on the field, pregame, in the first run out and all that. Like I'd love being on the field for that.
No, you and I are cut from the same cloth on that. And whatever you do, you got to be on the field at OU Texas. For at least part of that,
and
that just makes every thing on your body just
Mark
stand at
of all the rivalry games. That's like the two rivalry games I haven't been to are OU Texas and Army Navy.
Wow.
Other than that, all the way to Oregon State, the Apple Cup, Michigan Ohio State, Iron Bowl. I've been in all those. So I can't wait. Like
Yeah.
everyone on staff says this Oklahoma-Texas thing is the real deal. So I can't wait.
That's awesome. Jim, thanks for your time, man. I know you're busy. We appreciate you stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for squeezing me in,
All
Mark.
right, good to see you.
Yep.
All right, that's Jim Naggie. He is the general manager for the University of Oklahoma football program. I think that, again, you talk about the direction that the program has gone after last season, and the evaluation and the expertise that these guys bring has got to be a big difference maker for them, for sure. Okay. We just went from one show to another show.
Hey, quickly, before you end your show, we should mention that there was big news on the OKC Thunder front. The new arena was announced, and Mark, it looks spectacular. It really does.
Yeah, I saw some of the video. It was pretty cool. Let's take a break. I know we need to play some messages from some of our sponsors. And then when we come back, I'll try to wrap things up a little bit with Gideon, and I'm sure he can play some more of Brent's time at the podium. And then I got to hook it, man. I got to get out of here. So we'll be back.
Got to get to Magic City.
Yeah, we'll be back with more from SEC Media Day. Stay tuned.